Hello. Testing, testing. Can everyone hear me? Hello. From what I can see, everything is working. I'm going to change the bit rate a bit. Last time I did that, it lagged like crazy, but I changed it dramatically, so I'm going to try to change it just a little bit because I think it looks a bit too blurry. Alright, I probably need to update my equipment. I thought I had decent streaming equipment, but apparently not, because this computer cannot handle like really high bit rates for some reason. Alright, everybody can hear me, then they can hear this part. Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. So yeah, just decided to stream. I had a bunch of ideas for videos I wanted to get done. And unfortunately, I got sick. I'm still sick actually, but my sickness, what happened was when I got sick, that kind of kicked all the enthusiasm for the videos out. Like I was raring to go, poised at the starting line. I was just waiting for something to happen. But yeah, I caught COVID, and that just kicked it all out of me. Like my symptoms aren't that bad. Like I said, I'm still sick. My symptoms aren't that bad. In fact, they're almost non-existent at this point. I got past the symptoms really quickly. But one thing that keeps recurring is that I get fatigued really easily. So that's the main thing that's interfering with me. Because like for me, with writing like good scripts and stuff, a lot of times I need to just take a walk. Just go outside and walk around for like an hour. But because I get fatigued so quickly, like that's a little difficult to do. But yeah, like I'm still technically sick, but I barely have like any symptoms. Like if you were feeling what I was feeling, you'd think somebody was just whining and complaining. So I was feeling guilty about having not released content because you know how it is. So I was like, I'll do a live stream. I don't plan on staying on for long, but I figured, come in here, give you guys a chance to chat if you like. Last time the audio was too loud, so I'm going to turn the audio down, and then you guys can, the desktop audio, I'm going to turn that down, and then you guys can tell me if it's too loud or not. So I'm just going to, what level should I do? I think I'll do the subway. Wait, am I restricted to certain items if I do it here? Yeah. So the main gist of this stream is just to chill. If you guys got questions, I will answer them. Super chats take precedent. But yeah, I'm mainly just here trying to chill with you guys. Let me expand this chat here because I can't see the chat properly. Yeah, there we go. Now I can fully see the chat. Is that thing your avatar carried a crayon? That thing hasn't been a part of my avatar for a while. I do miss it. It was a digital pen. Because I used to draw a lot. Being an artist was part of my motif back in the day, and I put a giant digital pen on my avatar. So yeah, if anything's wrong with the stream, let me know. And I will get on that. Last time the shadows gave me issues in this game, and I had to turn them off. What's your favorite video of yours, Shady? My favorite video, I used to have that nailed down. It used to be for a long time. Let me turn the audio down on my end. If the audio's too loud, just let me know. Because like I said, last time it was definitely too loud, and I didn't realize it until it was too late. My favorite video on my channel used to be the Miraculous Season 1 review. It was that for a long time. That came out in 2017. but it hasn't been that ever since I went full time because I've made a lot of what I consider to be better videos. It's kind of difficult to say. Like the Raya video was also my favorite for a long time, just because I thought I nailed what I wanted to say in that Raya video. I want to have one. I want to have like an official favorite video, but I'm honestly having trouble thinking of them. Did they give me all my equipment? Yes, they did. Okay. I can tell you right now, it's not the John Redcorn video. Like, the John Redcorn video. Like, I'm fine with the John Redcorn video. Jeez, but I think I've made much better videos than that one. I would say maybe the Cotton video. I do like the Cotton video a lot. The Nancy video is also one I really like. The only issue I have with the Nancy video is the audio in the ad with Mr. Ad. The audio in that is really off. Which I didn't do anything to the audio other than I upped the pitch. Because Mr. Ad is me, it's just with me with a higher pitch. That's all I did was up the pitch. And for some reason, that distorted the audio quality. Like, I've upped the pitch on my voice before in other editing softwares, and it didn't do that. But for some reason, when I did it in DaVinci Resolve, it just completely destroyed the quality. What's the best flavor crayon? I didn't eat crayons when I was a kid. I always found them to smell disgusting. So I can tell you I don't know what they taste like. So I say, my kids like Miraculous. You're reviewing it makes me want to give it a serious try. I would try to find it sub though. Well, throughout all my videos, I've said like Miraculous is not a good show. It's just a show with a lot of good potential, but it messes up a lot. I would like to get back into Miraculous. See, what happened with Miraculous was I started my second channel, right? I was going to move Miraculous to my second channel because it wasn't really doing well on the first channel. And I was like, well, my second channel is my hobby channel. And I just like doing Miraculous videos. So I'm just going to move it to my second channel. But that was during, I was going to make one more Miraculous video. And then in that video, I was going to be like, hey, this is being moved to the second channel. But that was during a time where I was really struggling to come out with videos, struggling to think of good scripts. And when that happens, I don't like to release a Miraculous video because they always do poorly on the channel. So I was trying to wait until I got back into the the spring of things. And eventually I did get back into the spring of things, but I had so many video ideas that Miraculous just got placed way on the back burner. So I never got around to doing the what was supposed to be the last Miraculous video on the channel before I moved it to my second channel. Can you describe each King of the Hill in one word? What do you mean each King of the Hill? There's only one King of the Hill. Well, there's about to be two. Been watching Doom Patrol currently and really enjoying it. I have started Arcane too. Oh, I forgot about Doom Patrol. I completely forgot about Doom Patrol. I had to remind myself what that was. I'm like, I know that's a superhero thing. I always recommend Arcane. Arcane is something I consider to be a masterpiece. It's not perfect. The thing you're watching it right now. I don't want to spoil it. It's not perfect, but it is. It's a masterpiece to me. So it's like as close to perfect as a cartoon could get, in my opinion. What's the game you're playing? I am playing Power Wash Simulator. I've already beaten the story mode. I love the story mode of this game. I'm just playing through one of the levels. This is the game I like to play while I'm streaming because the point of these streams is like I want to talk to you guys, and I know you guys have questions, but I can't play a game where I have to concentrate too much because then I won't be answering your questions. This game, I don't have to concentrate at all. I can just zone out and answer you guys' questions while still playing it. Favorite King of the Hill episode for you? My favorite King of the Hill episode. That's a toughie. I really like Revenge of the Lutefisk. I really like that one. I don't know if I can confidently say that one's my favorite, but it's high up there. Like, it's bound to be one with Cotton, because I really like Cotton. I think Cotton is my favorite King of the Hill character. Have you seen The Boys Diabolical? If so, what are your thoughts on it? No, I haven't. I was trying to get myself, because I was slacking on watching new stuff. So I had a movie night that I was doing with my mom, and we would just watch a bunch of stuff. I was able to get through not Rings of Power. What's the other one? House of the Dragon that way. Which I do like House of the Dragon, but that protagonist is getting on my last nerves. Do a King of the Hill ranked video, like rank all the episodes. I have to see all the episodes. Like, I could probably do that with Futurama, because I've seen every episode of Futurama. I have not seen every episode of King of the Hill. I love this game. Very relaxing. Yep, I agree with that. I haven't heard any complaints about the audio or the bitrate yet, so I'm assuming they're good. A lot of times I'll go back and rewatch these streams and then there'll be something horribly wrong with them, and I'm like, why did no one say anything? Thoughts on the King of the Hill episode Death Pick Cotton? I need to rewatch it. I think I have that episode fresh in my memory, but I do need to rewatch it. That's one of the more infamous episodes. A lot of people say that episode really set Cotton back. Shady saddens me. Just finished watching every King of the Hill episode for the second time. He hasn't seen them all. I keep telling people, I'm not obsessed with King of the Hill. Like, it's not my favorite show. I wouldn't even say it's close to being my favorite show. The reason I review it so much is because when I do, you guys watch it. But there are other shows where I put the same amount of energy into reviewing. Like, I reviewed that Kim Possible episode, and when I talked about Darkwing Duck and DuckTales, like, I put the same amount of energy, but people don't show up. So I more frequently review King of the Hill. I did the same thing with Teen Titans, though, when people did show up for Teen Titans, so you can expect that to be making a return. Gonna try not to cough into the microphone, but you know it's right there. Well, Shay likes King of the Hill for the money. Well, I like King of the Hill as a show. I like it, but it's not a show I'm obsessed with. Like, I've seen Avatar over and over, and I could talk about Arcane like non-stop. Those are shows I'm obsessed with. King of the Hill, though, is just the one that brings in other people, and that's kind of what I need if I want my channel to be successful. I need other people to come in and watch things. So I'm hoping we keep doing it with Teen Titans, because I really like Teen Titans. And I was very happy to see that a lot of people showed up for that one. Will you ever talk about the original Darkwing Duck? Okay, so I'm a fan of the original Darkwing Duck, but I don't know Darkwing Duck that well. Like, I watched it and I love the concept of Darkwing Duck, and I still like look at it today. But it wasn't like a huge part. I would say I watched more of the original DuckTales than I did Darkwing Duck when I was a kid, and even that I didn't watch that much. I'm just a huge fan of what those shows did. So I might talk about the original Darkwing Duck, but probably not anytime soon. Go sucks. I don't think Go sucks. I think Go has a lot of issues that don't have to do with the actual show. I think Go is inferior to the original, but Go is a parody. Shady, have you heard of the new stop motion Pinocchio? I have heard of that. That was supposed to come out soon. A lot of people were talking about it because 2022 was a year of Pinocchio. We were supposed to get 3 different Pinocchios this year. Favorite Teen Titans episode? I'm pretty sure it was the one I reviewed. Is that one of my favorite? I'm pretty sure. No. My favorite episode, that one's really close. But my favorite episode is, I forget the official title of it, but it's when Robin goes to the prom. Excuse me. When Robin goes to the prom with Kitty, just for the comedy. Me and my brothers, oh my goodness, we died laughing whenever that episode came on. So in your opinion, what do you think the Hills would be doing in 2022? I mean, Hank would probably still be doing the exact same thing. Buck, because I don't know if Buck would still be alive, or if he was alive, if he'd still be able to be running Strickland Propane. Buck might have left it to Hank. I doubt that. Nice Leverus, thank you very much. If you could record any show, what would it be? What do you mean? Like, whoa! What is that noise? Why is there music playing? Oh! I forgot. I have the when people donate, that noise pops up. I forgot I fixed that. I thought I accidentally started playing some of my music. That's the old theme music from my avatar. If you could record any show, what would it be? I'm guessing you mean like any YouTube show. Like if I could make it a YouTube show, what would it be? I have a lot of ideas for YouTube shows. Like those never stop for me. I don't know if this is the answer to that question, but one show I've always thought was like a good idea was to get in a lab coat and to call myself. My name would be Dr. Me, and I would be an evil doctor, and I would sit down and I would go over my elaborate plan, and every episode would be how I was responsible for a minor convenience in your life. So I would like have this complicated plan. Oh, I went to Harvard and I got a degree in civil engineering and blah, 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 blah. And then at the end I would say, that's right. The reason why you tripped over the sidewalk was because of me. I thought that'd be a good way to like give people something like a character to just blame on. Not Dr. Doorags, no, because it would be Christian Johnson. Thank you very much. Just wanted to hear that again. It wouldn't be Dr. Doorags because it would be completely separate. Like the whole punchline would be at the end of every episode. I would say, that's right, it was me. So that's why I called myself Dr. Me. I used Dr. Me in one video, in the B-Star videos. The B-Star video, the first one. But he had a completely different accent. I just needed a professor or a doctor of some sort, and I was just like, yeah, Dr. Me sitting here. I still have. I came up with the Dr. Me concept a long time ago. I still have the lab coat just sitting in my sitting in my closet. Like I'm looking dead at it right now. Shady's so introverted. He shoplifts from stores that don't have self-check. I mean, I love self-checkout so much. A lot of people, when they first start doing self-checkout, they're like, "Oh, that's the typical. They're gonna take our jobs," kind of thing. And I was like, "Oh, this is amazing." And when I self-checkout started popping up when I was working at McDonald's, and when I worked there, they were like, "Hey, go help the people at the kiosk." I'm like, "You guys are missing the point of kiosks. They don't want me standing over their shoulder helping them. They want to do it by themselves." And I did tell my manager that, like, because she was like, "Yeah, go stand over their shoulder and make sure they don't need help." And I was like, "They don't want me to do that. That's very uncomfortable." I loved Teen Titans when I was younger. That show in Smallville were my introduction to DC. Well, I've always loved superheroes, so I grew up on superheroes because my dad loved superheroes. Will you do a review on the stop motion Pinocchio? If I get inspired to, or if I like a lot of times with, I say this every stream. The things that take priority with getting reviews is if I really have something I want to say, or if I really think you guys are gonna watch it. That's what determines if I get review. When it came to the Darkwing Duck episode, I really had something I wanted to say. Same thing with the Raya and Green Eggs and Ham. I really had something I wanted to say. I've seen a DeviantArt article about the DuckTales reboot failings. Want to check it out someday? I mean, not really. I'm not much of a reader. If there was a video, I might check it out. I am trying to change that, though. I found a fiction book I'm trying to get into. Just trying to, get away from YouTube because I spend way too much time on YouTube. Are you able to react, and have you seen the video on YouTube on how Mike Judge came up with the voice for Boomhauer? I haven't seen the video. I know the story. So I don't think that... I don't really like doing too many reaction videos. I don't know. I just feel like I'm not the type of person. Because I used to do, reactions to Miraculous and to My Little Pony. Miraculous I would probably still do, but I wouldn't do on this channel. I would do on my second channel. But something could easily come and change that. I just don't feel like I'm the type of person to make that kind of content. It's not what my audience expects from me. Will you ever review Beavis and Butthead? Probably not. I would love to review Daria, and I'm very tempted to just go out and buy it because nobody provides it. I do know places that have it for sale. I will be back. I need to grab some water. I forgot to grab some. All right, I'm back. So another thing I'm trying to do is drink more water. What's the book you're looking at? It's called Spine of the Dragon. I have it right here. So far, I've only gotten a couple pages into it, and so far it's interesting. But I used to be a decent reader, but now my attention span is just so destroyed that I'm a really slow reader. Like, it's already bad because I have to, I generally have to read. Are these the same floor? Oh, okay, yeah, that's why it's not getting clean. Because I generally have to read sentences like 3 times before I fully understand what the sentence is trying to say. Just because I get so distracted so easily. Do you keep a mini fridge in your room where your PC's set up at? No. I do not. I don't like storing food in here. Like, I'm fine eating food in here. I don't like storing food in here. What kind of books do you like? Might be able to recommend some. I don't know because I fell out of reading. I was a really heavy reader when I was a kid. I read a lot of books when I was a kid. My favorite books, my 2 favorite books are Ender's Game and the Count of Monte Cristo. But I only read the abridged version of the Count of Monte Cristo. I started to read the unabridged version because I misread the assignment when I got it in high school. And they're like, no, make sure you read the abridged version. I've heard people say, like, you should, like, they're like, yeah, you shouldn't read the abridged version. You should read the full version to get everything. The stuff in the unabridged version just felt like fluff. Like, I get it, there's a lot of political stuff going on, but man, did I feel like I didn't need that to fully understand the story. Did you ever read Diary of a Wimpy Kid as a child? I have Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. My parents thought I loved that series. They really did. They bought me a couple of books, and even now I'll talk to my mom and she'll be like, you love that series. I'm like, Mom, I never read that series. But you have so many books. Yeah, because y'all kept getting them for me. But yeah, I never really read the series. I have a couple of the books, but I never read the series. Ender's Game is good. I love Ender's Game because I love Suffering Paragons, and Ender's Game is like the perfect version of a Suffering Paragon. Like, they literally tell the kid at the beginning of the book, hey, you're gonna be a hero, but your life is gonna suck. But we'll give you a choice. Will you ever discuss Sonic, like how, in my opinion, Knuckles' Sonic X's depiction is largely responsible for him turning into a knucklehead? Probably not. I don't have any plans of discussing Sonic. I love the Sonic movies, though. The Sonic the Hedgehog movies. Like, I tell people all the time, they're flawed movies, but, like, they please their target audience so much, who cares? Any thoughts about trying to get into reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid? Not really. I'm not about to try. I want to read this Spine of the Dragon book. Do you watch anime? I've talked about this on streams in the past. I would like to get back into anime. I used to be a big anime person. Like, I was into all the modern animes. And then I fell out of it because I watched a bunch of... I watched 3 shonen in a row that ticked me off. It was Naruto during the Great Ninja War, where they just had so much filler, it ticked me off. It was One Piece during Dressrosa, where the pacing was just awful. The Dressrosa arc, the pacing is just so freaking awful, I just can't. And then there was another shonen called Hitman Reborn, which had both of those problems. The pacing is awful, and it had a lot of filler. So I was just like, between all 3 of those like hit me real hard in the anime gut, and I just fell out of anime. I would like to get back into it, and I've said this before, say it all the time. Detective Conan is my way back into anime. If Crunchyroll would just get the rights to Detective Conan and put all the episodes on Crunchyroll, I could get back into anime. Because I love Detective Conan. That's my favorite anime. Remember your favorite anime? All animes have filler. Yeah, Detective Conan has filler, but the difference is, filler should not feel like it's wasting your time. That's the difference. All three of those animes felt like they were wasting my time. Detective Conan is probably the king of filler because it's not supposed to reach an end. Even though it has a plot that should be reaching for an end, it doesn't. Like it. Nobody who watches Detective Conan thinks it's going to end, which is really annoying. Have you watched Ben 10? I watched Ben 10 up until Ultimate Alien Force. Then I fell out of it. What is your favorite alien? I don't think I don't know if I have a favorite alien. I mean, it's the Ben 10 that I remember happened so long ago. And I preferred, once Alien Force came out, I preferred Kevin over Ben. I always liked Gwen more than I liked Ben. Like, in all the series, I always liked Gwen more. Because I always related to the nerd. Shin-chan, best anime ever. I hate Shin-chan. That's something I found on Adult Swim one night when I was a curious kid. And I'm not the person that anime is made for. Kevin, there's plenty of anime I could get into. It's just like my preferred form of entertainment is YouTube videos. So I would need something to get me back into anime. And like I said, Detective Conan could easily do that because I just love watching Detective Conan. The problem is I don't want to skip episodes, and Crunchyroll starts at episode 750. I ended at like 650. I was like, oh, Crunchyroll has it now, and they're owned by Funimation, who has the rights to the English dub of Detective Conan. So I just gotta wait. Nope. Years later. Like, I've seen a lot of clips of anime that I really enjoy. You know, it's just a matter of sitting down and watching it. Like, if I get something good to eat and remember that anime is a thing, then I could probably sit down and watch like Spy Family or whatever it's called. Apparently, you're not supposed to say the X in the names of animes. Speaking of anime, you should consider doing a review of Cowboy Bebop. That I have not seen too many episodes of. I really wanted to. I don't have the urge to do it anymore, but I really wanted to do a review of Trigun, because that was Man of Steel done correctly. Trigun's another example of a suffering paragon. Yep, I used to say Hunter x Hunter all the time, and then people were like, you don't pronounce the X's in those enemies, it's just Hunter Hunter. Hunter Hunter, by the way, is I haven't seen all of the latest version, but the original version of Hunter Hunter, that was like the best anime I had seen. It's so tightly written, and so much would happen in one episode. Like, there was literally only one episode that felt like filler, and even then, it was an episode I was really happy with. It, it astounded me when I watched Hunter x Hunter. I still said the X. It astounded me when I watched Hunter x Hunter the first time around, because I was constantly like, I want to watch the next episode. I gotta see what happens, and yet so much happened in one episode, and it would still leave off on a great cliffhanger. I don't know what to feel about the new Trigon anime design. I didn't know there was a new one. Hogslayer, thank you very much. Hey Shady, big fan of you. However, I disagree with John Redcorn and Nancy being the most evil characters in King of the Hill. Personally, I'd have to say Buck is. Yeah, I mean, that's a conversation that's been happening on the channel for a while. Most people think Nancy is the most evil, but Peggy is the most annoying. And I don't know, John Redcorn just gets under my skin in the perfect way. So it's kind of, I just, you know, you guys have seen the video. I did a whole video on that. Hunter x Hunter is also great. All seasons on Netflix except last one, which never made it to anime. I like anime where filler feels like just any other story. Filler can be a really good thing if you do it right. Naruto did a great filler arc with Kakashi, with young Kakashi. I was like, oh, I can just watch this. Like, it was a really long filler arc about Kakashi's life. I was like, man, this is a young Kakashi made for a great protagonist. And I was really enjoying that filler. And again, Detective Conan is just complete filler, basically. Like almost, you have to get through like 50 episodes of Detective Conan just for any plot to happen. And then it almost always is plot that sets the characters back more than it pushes them forward. See, I know I'm technically using the term wrong, but when I say filler, I don't just mean like non-canon stuff. But yeah, I know I'm using the term incorrectly when I do that. Because the whole point of filler is it's filling up time from the manga. You should watch JoJo. It has no filler at all. I feel like I need to watch JoJo just so I'm relevant. Like, somebody had to explain to me, like, oh, the protagonist of every season in JoJo is a different character. Do a Kingdom Hearts and use X as Chi, so Hunter Chi Hunter. Kingdom Hearts is the reason why there's been no activity on my second channel. I was planning on playing Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, but I needed to buy the latest version, and I never got around to doing it. Have you ever seen the show Archer? I saw the first episode, and I didn't like it. Like, I'm trying to get into it to see if I can find something worth reviewing. Same with Bob's Burgers. Like, a lot of people constantly tell me to review Bob's Burgers, and I'm like, I want to, but every episode I watch, I just get annoyed. Specifically with Bob's Burgers, I don't know their names in Bob's Burgers, but the character who's voiced by the girl who plays Sarah Lynn, she annoys me so much, because I don't like characters who go out of their way to like annoy other characters. I don't want to say that's like an absolute. I'm sure there's like a whatchamacallit, an exception. That's the word. An exception to that complaint, but that tends to be what happens. I tend to not like characters who intentionally annoy others, unless they're like evil. Oh, I'm just ignoring these extensions. That one's too long. Did you watch Bleach or any of the Gundam shows? No, those are the animes I did not. Gundam bored me when I was a kid. Like, I could not get into Gundam when I was a kid. It just, it bored me. Bleach, yeah, I think at the time Bleach was out, I just couldn't find a good, like, place to watch it. So you like Bender then? I usually like Bender. Sometimes though he pushes it too far. Like the Egypt episode where Bender became Pharaoh, I hated Bender in that. It's like I said, I don't want to treat it as an absolute, like that just tends to be what happened. But Bender is a good example of the exception I was talking about. Like, I do not hate Bender's character. There are moments, though, where he pushes it too far. Didn't know Shady streamed. Yeah, I usually stream, like, once every month and a half. Excuse me. Like, I'm not very good at it, which is why, partially why I don't do it a lot. I just feel like it's lazy content. I know a lot of people enjoy it, but I feel like I could be doing something more. So I tend not to do it too much. I would probably stream more if I had a bit more people to stream with. So Shady, have you thought about covering all the episodes of King of the Hill in a sort of over-analyzing series? I thought it would be really cool to see on your channel. Not King of the Hill doesn't seem like that kind of show. Because the reason I do that with Avatar specifically is because I feel like it's been analyzed. I feel like I can't really add anything new to Avatar, but I still want to talk about it. So, would you redo any of the alignments of the King of the Hill characters? Probably. I don't remember the alignment video that much, but I do remember watching it, and I was like, what was I thinking? I don't know if there's any alignment video that I have that I wouldn't completely redo. Because I just get so... Sometimes I become like rules lawyer about, oh, they sacrifice for others, so that means they're evil. And sometimes I don't. I'm just really lenient on it. JC, thank you very much. Will we ever see behind the rag in shades? I have videos where I've taken off my shades and Doorags. So yeah, it's a lot of people think it's like a big secret. I'm like, no, it's not a big secret. I wear shades and Doorags as a kind of theme. But I look much older than I am. I'm 31, but I look much older because growing up, my allergies... Well, I think it was my allergies. I'm not sure why this happened, but my allergies swelled my eyes a lot growing up. And also, I used to stay up a lot growing up. So I have like a lot of bags and stuff. That makes me look a lot older than I actually am. It's like I don't smoke or anything like that. But they're still there. And I think it was my allergies that caused them, because my eyes used to get really swollen from allergies growing up. Are you bald? No, I have plenty of hair. My hairline's a bit back, but it's nowhere close to being bald. My brother actually gets mad at me. Me and my younger brother, we have decent hairlines. My older brother's hairline looks more like my dad's, My dad's hairline was pretty far back. My older brother gets mad at us. Do you remember your first D&D character? Also, what edition did you start in? I started in 5e. Yes, because it wasn't that long ago when I started D&D. I started D&D back in 2017. Actually, no, it might have been 2018. Yeah, I think it was 2018 when I started playing D&D. Pathfinder is my first edition. I'm still playing with my first character. His name is Calidus. He's a Kitsune rogue. He's dual classing as a Arcanist as well. He is a prince, but he believes that he doesn't know what true consequences are. So he went out into the world and said that he's not allowed to use his royal assets because he needs to understand what real people deal with in their lives. I think a King of the Hill episode with a lot of humorous jokes would be a great start for my dad to watch the show. Any episode you could recommend? Probably anything with Cotton, because Cotton is meant to make things funny. So maybe the first episode with Cotton, with Bobby's birthday, because King of the Hill itself is dry humor. It's not very in your face about its humor, and that's it's one of the interesting things, because most of the time I don't like dry humor, but King of the Hill has perfected that art form. Should the Cartoon Network original movie Fire Breather get its own series? I have not seen that. I have fallen out of a lot of modern day shows for kids specifically. Like I have the Owl House just sitting there. Everybody keeps telling me to watch it. I just don't. It's like I said, I have a specific movie night. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to watch more things. Because I've been really bad about watching stuff. I just recently saw, because when Steven Universe came out, right, I was going to college, and it was, Steven Universe came out at the time where people were having less faith in Cartoon Network, because that was the 2007, 2010 era. So I took one look at Steven Universe, and I was like, I'm going to hate that. And I didn't start watching it until everybody was already talking about it. And then when I did, Teen Titans Go was clogging up the freaking channel, so I could never watch it properly. But I said all that to say this. I recently watched the Steven Universe movie, and I accidentally fell in love with it because I didn't think I was going to like it that much. I was just like, well, it's here. I've got time. I've got food. I'll sit down and watch this. And like, I could not get enough of Spinell in that movie. Just her entire character in that movie, I just fell in love with. Have you seen Wednesday? No, I'm tempted to watch it because everybody's talking about it. My first character is a fighter dragonborn, born from the Silver Dragons, and I'm trying to use him, but our DM is a college professor and just had a baby. Do you have your own gem Sona? No, because I didn't really get into Steven Universe. I tried to watch it, but like I got tired of Cartoon Network because they kept showing Teen Titans Go, and I just got so sick and tired of watching Teen Titans Go. Like, that's my biggest problem with Teen Titans Go, is like it's not that the show itself is bad, it's that they just kept showing it. So I never really got into Steven Universe, but I'll get into it. Like I'm in the middle of watching Adventure Time as well. That's another one that everybody talked about. I have access to the show, so I'm trying to like watch it in full. But season 1 and season 2 are very slow. Are you a Pokemon fan, Shady? I was the biggest Pokemon fan when it first came out, but my parents didn't like how obsessed I was over it. So, throughout most of my childhood, I wasn't allowed to do Pokemon stuff. As of now, I wouldn't call me a fan. Like, I don't hate it. I actually rather like the entire concept of Pokemon. What's your thoughts on Uncle Grandpa? From what I saw, everything I saw about it, I hated it. I didn't watch much of it. But everything I did see, I hated. Did you have a favorite video game growing up? Yes, it's still my favorite video game, Majora's Mask. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is my favorite video game of all time. I want to do a video on Cremia. I really badly want to do a video on Cremia. But I don't know if I have what I need to properly capture the footage. Because I do have an N64, and I could buy a couple of cables that would kind of force it to be like HD. But I don't know how well that setup's going to work. And I have one of those N64s where if you breathe on it slightly, it freezes. But yeah, Majora's Mask is my favorite video game of all time, and I really want to do a video on Cremia because I think she's like one of the most tragic characters in the game, simply because her problems, like everybody else's problems, are manufactured by the Skull Kid. Her problems have already existed, and they don't just go away just because Skull Kid goes away. Show on Cartoon Network went way down the last decade. Well, from like 2007 to 2010, shows were awful in Cartoon Network. And then 2010 brought like Gumball, Total Drama, Adventure Time, Steven Universe. That era really brought cartoons up. But the problem is they like kind of sort of capitalized on it, but also didn't, because Teen Titans Go was just so popular. So in some ways it went very downhill, but in other ways it went very uphill. One of the new Pokemon gym leaders is a VTuber. Yo, no lie. Wait, how do you say that now? Is it no cap? Is that how kids say it today? No lie. I would love to be a VTuber. Jaden Animation just came out with her VTuber avatar. I would love to be a VTuber. It just sounds so much fun. And if I did my avatar, I imagine, I've never made a VTuber avatar, but I imagine my avatar would be like really easy to make because he has no mouth and his eyes are very simple. Oh, it's up there. Yeah, that's probably something I'll look more into for 2023. What was supposed to happen this year with my channel was I was supposed to branch out more and find more ways to like do stuff on the channel, but I ran into a huge snag, which was my script writing. Just like there kept being moments where I just wasn't like feeling the script writing, and I think I've solved that problem now. But I was hoping to solve that problem throughout 2022 rather than 2020, like the end of 2022. that problem lasted me from the end of 2021 to like mid 2022. Have you ever watched Drake and Josh? It was a comedy show that I watched when I was a kid. Yeah, I was never a big fan of it. Because there's a lot about Drake and Josh that just felt mean-spirited to me. A lot of like just really mean things would happen to Josh in particular, and I always hated Megan's character. Again, because she goes out of her way to annoy Drake and Josh. Like a lot of times they wouldn't even do anything to her. What inspired your YouTube persona? Well, my YouTube, my avatar was inspired by Spider-Man, and the original version, which I don't really use that much anymore, was heavily inspired by the Game Grumps icon. The personality, that's just me. Well, it's a certain version of me. It's not all of me, but it's a certain version of me that comes out at certain times. Who's your favorite YouTuber and why is it Nicocado Avocado? I don't even know who that YouTuber is that you just said. My favorite YouTuber, it varies. But I think I'm gonna have to say Killian Experience. Like Killian Experience is his comedy is what I strive for when I write jokes. That man has comedy nailed down, packed, man. But YouTubers that I watch regularly are ProZD. I watch him regularly. Many a True Nerd. I watch him regularly. I watch the Nostalgia Critic regularly, but I wouldn't at all say he's like my favorite YouTuber. He's just very consistent on when he uploads, and I like his style of videos. Have you been keeping up with Jaden's subbation? I've been trying to. I've been trying to, but I've been failing horribly because I'm supposed to be working. I watched Jackie Chan Adventures every morning when I was in middle school, if memory doesn't fail me. I love Jackie Chan Adventures. Absolutely love Jackie Chan Adventures. What's your favorite funny moment from King of the Hill? So I might change my mind later, but just off the top of my head, one of the best moments is when Peggy is in the boggle competition, and Hank is like, "Oh, let me say to you what my coach said to me when we went to the championship." And then he just wails on her, "Loser, you big baby! You gonna cry, you big baby?" That's what that comes off the top of my head. Like when you just think of King of the Hill and funny. That's an instant moment for me. A lot of people find That's My Purse funny. I don't, actually. I was annoyed by That's My Purse. That's an episode I'm very likely going to review. A lot of people have asked me to review the That's My Purse episode. Have you watched any foreign or international cartoons or animation? Not counting anime. Okay, I was gonna say, well, if you count anime, not really. Unless you count Canadian cartoons, because a lot of those were shown on American networks. Because I love Total Drama. Total Drama Island, Action, and World Tour. I absolutely love those three. After those three, I stopped watching. World Tour especially. I love World Tour. And the Alejandro ending for World Tour is canon for me. Where My Place showed it, it was the Heather ending. But the Alejandro ending to me is canon. What did you think of the episode where Peggy snuck in the coke into a prison via Boggle? I haven't seen that episode myself. I've seen a lot of reviews of it, so I know exactly what happens, but I haven't seen the episode myself. And I think it has the typical problems with Peggy episodes, where she just is allowed to get away with stuff. That's most people's problem with Peggy, is that she gets away with a lot of the stuff. The one where Peggy and Hank get a motorcycle is great too. I need to rewatch that episode. I referenced that episode, but like I don't have the best memory of it. Like my memory of it is they start fighting, they go to a therapist, they say our plans are to get a motorcycle, and he's like, well, you should get one now instead of getting a pair later. It'll help your relationship. And then Hank doesn't want to share the driver's seat, but he winds up having to because of his glasses situation. That's basically what I remember. Who's your favorite rapper and why is it Hank Trill? Well, I don't listen to modern day rap a lot. I listen to classic rap. So, you know, like Run DMC, LL Cool J, Will Smith's old stuff. When it comes to modern rap, I like listening to like not mainstream stuff, like epic rap battles. I love epic rap battles. But ever since I was a kid, I'd never liked modern rap because a lot of rappers that I listened to, they could not rap. Like a lot of people were like, man, these songs are so great. I'm like, there's no emotion. They are not emoting at all. Some of them couldn't go to the beat. That's why I like ERB, because it's rapping and acting. What do you think of Jimmy Neutron? I love Jimmy Neutron. One of my favorite cartoons as a kid. One of the cartoons that made me laugh the most as a kid. When Jimmy Neutron ended, I was like, they should have just gave it the Ben 10 treatment. Just like skip a couple of years, and then you got a completely new show. I would actually love to do rapping myself, because I used to rap for my church growing up. And one of the things somebody asked this question earlier. They said, if you could make one video, what would you make? And I was like, oh, the Dr. Me video. No, this is the answer to the question, because I've had this project in my head for years, and I haven't done it yet because it's an investment. I have for a long time wanted to make rap videos that rap about the definition of words. Like, that's what I've wanted to do, because I kind of like, I want to do like a Schoolhouse Rock thing before adults. And, you know, now that I put the idea out there, somebody with actual resources is going to hop on and do it. But that's something I've wanted to do for the longest time. Just get a word and start rapping the definition, because that would help educate society a lot. Like, a lot of people learn stuff when they watch ERB. When they watch ERB and they learn about history and stuff. So I would love to do that just with the definition of words, because that's stuff that means a lot to me. Schoolhouse Rock to this day has helped teach me a lot of things and retain that stuff in my memory. I'm not gonna rap right now. I'm sick, in case you guys forgot. I haven't rapped in a long time, too. I don't know if I still have it. I used to be a very slow rapper. Like, I could not rap fast. That was my sister's thing. My sister and I would often do duets. She would rap really fast, and I would rap, like, really slow and smooth. Will you make a review of Jurassic Park? I might. Just on a day where I'm feeling Futurama-y. The thing about Jurassic Park, though, is that it's kind of overrated, because it's a great first watch when you don't know what's going to happen. After you know what's going to happen the entire time you're watching, like, it's not that good of an episode. Like, when I made the joke about The Luck of the Fryrish, I was like, everybody's going to say Jurassic Park. A lot of people were like, actually, Jurassic Park is overrated. And I agree with them. It is kind of overrated. Like, Luck of the Fryrish is a much better one. even on rewatching. The Sting is also much better on rewatching. What do you think of the Pygmalion True Ending creepypasta? Well, in my video that I did on Pygmalion, I said that there's another YouTuber. He recorded the original airing, and they said that the ending didn't exist. So I'm inclined to believe him that that ending doesn't exist. People just made it up. I mean, I think it kind of would have been needlessly cruel. It's like I said in my review of Pygmalion. I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to tell a joke by making Trip die right after he gets healed. But it feels so mean-spirited because it's somebody else. It's somebody paying for crimes they basically didn't commit. I mean, they did, but they didn't. He had no memory of what he was doing. He was a completely different personality. And it really didn't have to happen because when you think about it, Trip didn't murder anyone. So him dying is just completely unnecessary. Have you seen Primal? No, people keep telling me to watch it. I just, every time I stream, I'm like, oh yeah, I was supposed to watch that. People have been telling me to watch that for years. Like, check out Primal, we want to see your review. And I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And then I always forget to do so. Does Trip count as a furry? I believe so. I mean, it depends, because furry has multiple definitions. Some people think of a furry as just being, like being, what's it called? What was I about to say? Being interested, yeah, in, like, anthro animals, which I'm interested in kitsune, so if you go by that definition, then I'm technically a furry. But some people are like, no, it's specifically wanting to be those things, in which case, yes, Trip would be a furry. No, Trip wants to be a real pig. But some people are like, no, you have to be sexually attracted to them specifically. Which by that logic, by that definition, he is not a furry. All right, so I think that's this. Just gotta clean this wall. So my appetite keeps fluctuating because of this sickness. Right now, I'm really hungry because I haven't really eaten anything all day because I wasn't hungry because my appetite fluctuates. But now my stomach's like, yo, go get something to eat. I'm like, stomach, you should have did that before the stream. It would be cool if you covered 16. 16 is weird. It's like, I love it, but I also don't. Because 16 had something that I kind of fantasized about as a kid. And that was just having a place to hang out. Because I never really got that as a kid. Just, well, as a teenager. As a kid, yes, I did. There were lots of places where I just hung out. But for some reason, that concept just fascinated me. Just having a place that you go to every day and you know people there. What's that song that has that theme song? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. That place. Whatever show that was. For some reason, I fantasized about that. I don't know why. Because I don't like people. I did not like hanging out with people. But for some reason, just like, I always wanted to work at a mall just for like a couple of months, or a theme park, which my brother and sister both worked at theme parks. I never did. Just because it was like a large community place where you knew other people. Cheers, yeah. I have no idea why I had that fantasy. Because, like I said, I'm not a people person. I'm very anti-people. Like I try to tell people that a lot. I get comments that are like, "Oh, Shady, you must be a good person," and I'm like, "Yes, I am a good person, but you should know that I'm not a nice one." I don't like people. The reason I can hang out with y'all in chat right now is because there's a screen separating us. I get really like all the typical introvert jokes you hear. I have all of those. I get very tired when I'm around people. Like there are some exceptions. My very best friends from college, like I don't get tired of hanging out with them, and my immediate family. But most people, like after like an hour or two of being around them, I just get exhausted. I didn't watch Craig of the Creek. New. What happened to this train station? Why is it covered in soot? Well, Game Theory came out with a theory about like why everything in this game is covered in soot, and they're the game kind of implies that they're right, which is a very bad thing because if they are right, everybody in this town is going to get poisoned. But if you've never played the campaign in the game, I'm about to spoil it a little bit, so you might want to mute me if you're worried about spoilers. But in the campaign of this game, you're gradually cleaning things, and what you find out is that just outside of town, there is a big volcano, and it's very active. And so that kind of, like the game never explicitly says the volcano is why everything is like covered in soot and stuff. And it doesn't even make any sense for like some stuff, like there's a bathroom you have to clean. At least with here, you could say the soot comes from this entrance over here because this entrance leads to the outside. So you could say that it comes from here, but like the bathroom is completely closed off. You have no idea how this soot got in there. But yeah, that's kind of what it is. There's an active volcano and it's causing all this stuff, which again is a bad thing if that's what's happening because you're not just supposed to. Well, according to game theory, you're not just supposed to shoot soot and let it drain because it doesn't dissolve in the water. So it would get into these people's water system, and then they would drink it, and it would get into their bodies. Wouldn't say that means you're not nice. LOL, you're just not chummy. Well, I can be very mean, is the thing. Because I am not an emotions person. Like I have emotions, but I'm not somebody who prioritizes emotions. A lot of things where people are like, you can't say that. You have to think of how people feel. I'm like, no, I don't. Viscera cleanup detail. I have never heard of that. Sounds like Super Mario Sunshine. I mean, yeah, this basically what this is, a realistic version of Super Mario Sunshine. Although you're not like getting blamed for it. But yeah, the island is dirty, you're cleaning it up. So you're realistic. I don't know if that's the most accurate way of describing it, but sure. I'm not somebody who thinks we should prioritize feelings. I'm somebody, I understand that feelings are important, but I don't prioritize them. I think it's more important to prioritize the facts of a situation. I think you should still acknowledge feelings. I think you should still take them into consideration, but I don't think they should be your priority. Unless you're dealing with like, you know, super young kids. And I think that's not like I don't like dealing in absolutes. Obviously, there are situations where I'm going to prioritize emotions, but for the most part, that's generally how I approach life. Whoa! Forgot that was there. Something just fell off my desk. Have you ever considered the ramification of Boltzmann brain would have on the philosophy of? I don't know what you just said. No, I have not considered any of that. Sounds like hard truths before soft lies. Yeah, I mean, one of the things I was taught growing up, because there's a scripture in the Bible, I don't remember where exactly, but it was like, all liars have their place in hell. And my brain took that so seriously. It's like, I'm not lying about anything. Did you ever have a show or franchise you used to really love and enjoy, but then had to drop for personal reasons and you just couldn't enjoy it anymore? When I was in college, I had to fast from The Legend of Zelda, which I was obsessed with at the time. And I didn't know how long the fast was going to last. I thought it might be permanent. Pokemon, yeah, I've told that story. Like I said, I used to be obsessed with Pokemon, and then my family, my parents were like, we don't like how this is affecting you, so you're banned from it. There was a manga where at the time it went against what I felt was were my religious beliefs, and then I stopped reading it. But I reevaluated it and I was like, no, it should be fine. Take on moral oral. Everyone wants me to talk about moral oral. I get so many requests for moral oral. Like, and I say the same thing, like, moral oral, I don't know if I will ever talk about because it hits too close to home. Moral oral is about, you know, religious environments and how that affects people, and I, as somebody who grew up in a religious environment, that it hits too close to home. It's not something I'm ready to deal with myself, let alone with others. Both of these walls need cleaning. Thoughts on VeggieTales? VeggieTales was my childhood. I was debating on doing a VeggieTales video this year. It was Thanksgiving related, but then I decided to go with the King of the Hill one instead. I was like, I'll do that next year. Come on. Where's that last bit of dirt? Yeah, I'm trying to find the spot I missed. Are you gonna play Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom next summer? I would like to get back into gaming. I talk about this all the time, every stream. And I'm like, I want to get back into gaming. Like I stopped playing Nintendo stuff. Zelda for a long time was the thing I was obsessed with. And then I stopped playing it after Skyward Sword because Nintendo was ticking me off. I could really go for a chili cheese dog right now. I'm really hungry. What's your favorite game other than Majora's Mask? Infamous 2. Infamous and Infamous 2 are both tied as my second favorite game of all time. Are you not using the button to show dirt? No, I never use that button. I've already beaten this level. I've beaten every level in this game. I'm just putting this on so you guys have something to watch while I answer questions. So there would be no like pride breaking it if I did the show dirt, because I've already beaten this level, but I'm still not going to do it. Would you pet my friend's dog Cooper? Not unless he was in front of me. In the future, comedy is randomly generated. Oh yeah, there's that big thing going on Twitter about AI art and stuff. Like, People are gonna hate me because I do not see the problem with AI generated art. Like I look at all the arguments for it, and I'm like, that doesn't dismiss it though. Like the only argument I kind of sort of get is when people say it doesn't have as much human element in it. I'm like, that part I get. It does have some human element, but not as much as like art generally tends to have. That I kind of get. But when people are like, well, it's stealing, I'm like, no. No, it's not stealing. Yes, it takes people's images into its learning and it copies what they're making. And I'm like, that's what humans do. We're just bad at it. That's how human artists do. They study other people's art, they incorporate it into their style, but they're not as good at it as computers. What's Infamous? Infamous is a PlayStation 3 game about a guy who gets electric superhero powers. It's not the greatest game in the universe, but it resonated with me a lot. When did you get into Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and were you sad when it ended? Yes, I was very sad. I made a video when it ended, stating my disappointment. I got into DBZ Abridged back in, I want to say like 2009, 2010. It was the Be a Man video they had made that got me. Like, I had tried to watch it before, but it had so much swearing. Like, there was a time where I would not watch anything with swearing in it. Like, if it had any swearing, I would not watch it. So I had heard about it, but I didn't watch it. And then I saw the Be a Man video, and I didn't know it was made by the same people, but I thought it was really, really funny. And I was like, wait, this is made by the same people who did that. Okay, well, let me try watching that. And that was kind of the catalyst that got me to watch like more mature stuff. Because if it had like swearing or mature content stuff in it, I just did not watch it. But yeah, this is back in the like right before 2010, I would say, maybe during 2010, when I was transitioning from high school to college. Have you ever watched the DBZA commentaries? No. I've seen one, but I didn't really care for it that much, so I didn't watch any of the rest. But I said before, like, I was very disappointed with when DBZA ended, and I get it, because as a YouTuber, I've done stuff like that too, where it's like, oh, I said I was going to do this, but I don't feel like I can follow through on that. But like I said in my video, and I still kind of feel this way, like, Team 4-Star, they're not just YouTubers. They are a professional company at this point with how they approach their work. And I felt it was very unprofessional of them to come out and just, like, not do it. And say they weren't going to do it anymore. Like, it's kind of funny, because a lot of people would have been fine if they had just planned on ending it at the Cell Saga. A lot of people, but they had planned on going further, and everybody was like pledging money and stuff because they were going forward. But then they changed their minds, and a good chunk of people were understanding. But some people were like me, and they're like, this is very unprofessional. Have you ever seen, I've never seen Has Been Hotel. I have seen the other one. I was planning on making a video on it, on my experience with it, but then a new episode came out, and that kind of made me hesitate making the video, and then I never got around to actually making the video. The show with Blitzo, though, it's like, I can see why so many people are into it, but it has it has problems. And I'm seeing on YouTube, some people are acknowledging those problems. Like, I think it's using its setting as a crutch in unfair ways. Because, like, you're watching it, and then they'll do this horrible stuff, and you're like, oh, it's because they're in the underworld, they can get away with doing that. But then suddenly, it's like, oh, relationships matter, and they need to be treated like humans, even though they're demons. It's like, wait, I thought we could just ignore that because they were in the underworld. And for a lot of people, it's like, oh, that's really good storytelling. I'm like, well, that's kind of cheating, though. Because, like, you don't think about that stuff because they're in the underworld. Some of the stuff they get away with, like, they even say in the first episode, this is the underworld, nobody cares. And then some stuff they can't get away with. That's probably my biggest issue with that show, with Blitz. But, you know, the animation is good. And Millie and Moxie are an amazing duo. How do you feel about international censorship of animation, mostly with America censoring scenes or lines because they have seen as inappropriate for kids when they could be seen as fine source material? Oh, I strayed off the path. I was looking at that question. Censorship is always a tricky thing because I think there should be a general sort of censorship for kids, but at the same time, I think ultimately parents make that decision. So I don't mind censorship too much, but, you know, I acknowledge that sometimes the person doing the censoring doesn't know what they're talking about. You know, everybody brings up One Piece because it made no sense to censor One Piece. It wasn't for kids. But they treated it like it was just because it was a cartoon. Thoughts on Roger Rabbit? I love Roger Rabbit. Roger Rabbit is a very important part of animation history, and you can tell just by looking at it that there's so much effort put into it and what they were trying to achieve. The reason I'm stressing this is because Chippendales Rescue Rangers tried to be the next Roger Rabbit, but it was so lazy in its execution, it failed horribly. Like, nobody remembers Rescue Rangers. And it's so, I get so mad because I feel like it was trying to do the exact same thing Roger Rabbit did. And it could have accomplished that. But it was, there were just there were parts where it felt like it could get away with cutting corners, so it did. Roger Rabbit, man, they went the extra mile to make Roger Rabbit work. Thoughts on Kanye? I disagree with pretty much everything Kanye has said, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of people are overly hating what he said. Like, yeah, I think that's the best way I can put it. I don't want to jump too much on the Kanye thing because it's one of those situations where I could easily jump on the bandwagon with everyone else in the universe and feel like I'm right. But I've done that so many times where everybody else was wrong. Like, I just don't want to do that again. In fairness to Rescue Rangers, it's like a nerdy Where's Wally. I could spend hours picking out little Easter eggs in so many scenes. Well, that's the thing. The Easter eggs in Rescue Rangers are usually there just to be there. They serve almost no purpose. They don't help with the jokes. Whereas the Easter eggs in Roger Rabbit serve purposes. Like, they help. Like, the penguins in the Roger Rabbit bar aren't just there just because, oh, it's the penguins from, they're Butler characters and they're from Mary Poppins. It's like, no, the penguins are black and white characters in a place where black and white characters can get jobs. And it was also representative of places where that didn't serve black people, but allowed black people to work there. I just get so mad because it had so much potential, Rescue Rangers. It really did. Like, Chip specifically, just looking at Chip, you can tell they didn't want to go all the way with it. There was a Rescue Rangers movie. I thought you guys were talking about the 90s cartoon. Yes, it was called Rescue Rangers, but it wasn't about the Rescue Rangers. It was about it was pretending, it was being in a world where cartoons are played by actors rather than just voice actors. So again, like Roger Rabbit. I just lost my ladder. I don't know where that ladder went. Oh, it got put back down. Okay. I tried to set it here and I clicked and it wasn't in the right spot. Did you play Multiverse when it was popular? No, I downloaded Multiverse when it stopped being popular. I still haven't played it. I just downloaded it. Console or PC gamer? I prefer consoles just because of controllers, but I've always admitted that PC gaming is better. I mean, you could play controllers, like it's not even complicated to play on a PC with a controller nowadays. Now, I grew up at a time where if you had a controller for your PC, like, you were really showing off. Thoughts on Camp Camp? I have no idea what that is. Wait a second, who is adjusting your avatar on the screen? Is that just a lot of people think that's like cleverly timed, or it's just timed. The great thing about my avatar is that the expressions are so simple, they can convey a lot of emotions. So they could relate to a lot of things that are being said. Would you ever do a video on Samurai Jack? I would need to rewatch Samurai Jack. I don't have a decent enough memory of it. I didn't watch the final season, though I do know what happens. Ever think about doing videos on South Park? Yes, I would need to find an episode, because a lot of people request South Park, so I'm pretty sure it would get a lot of views. But I've never really seen that many episodes of it myself. What was the one episode with the old lady trying to... Are you for real right now, LD Badger? That's literally the last video I made. The one with the old lady trying to die in Hank's house. Miss Wakefield is what it's called. What was the one episode? I just read that. Thoughts on American Dad? I don't really have thoughts. I didn't watch American Dad that much. I only watched one episode, and I don't really have much to say about it. What is your favorite superpower? My favorite superpower has always been, my favorite superpower has always been Hydro Man, but Hydro Man sucks at using his own powers. So, like, just being a part of water, and being able to manipulate water, I've always loved that. Those small movements makes me think you're already a VTuber. That's because I have, like, VTubing in me. I just, like... I need, like, the equipment. I just need to start doing, like, research on how to do it. Because, like, VTubing just sounds so cool. It sounds exactly up my alley. Despite the fact that I made this giant stage with all this nerd stuff behind me. What's your drink of choice when you're at the club? I don't go to clubs. I'm an introvert. I also don't drink. My drink of choice is soda, which I'm trying to cut back on. Have you ever watched Dan Versus? No, that's when I get recommended a lot. People don't necessarily ask for reviews, but they do recommend it to me a lot. Recently discovered your BoJack vids. Love them. Did any part of the series or any character in particular resonate with you or your life? This is a question I used to get asked a lot. Like, who do I relate to the most in BoJack Horseman? I don't do BoJack Horseman videos anymore, but the two characters I say I relate the most to are Princess Carolyn and Diane. I don't relate to any of the characters in BoJack, but those are the two I relate to the most. Because Diane, like, I used to be really judgy like Diane. And Princess Carolyn I relate to because she's the one constantly trying to find happiness. And she's like, she's constantly working at it, is what I should say. Mr. Peanut Butter and Todd don't really work at it, and Diane and BoJack just kind of suck at it. Do you go to arcades? I've started to somewhat go to arcades. That's because I went on vacation with my friends, and they took me to Dave & Buster's, and we had such a great time. Man, Dave & Buster's was an amazing time. So I would like to try to go back there, but none of my friends, like my actual physical friends, live anywhere near me. So I would need them for like an excuse to go to Dave & Buster's. Feelings on Family Guy. I kind of have an internal hatred of Family Guy just because it was bad for so long. But people have been saying like it's gotten good recently, and I do watch a lot of the clips on like YouTube and stuff. Diane really improved there at the end of the series. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I hated Diane for a good many seasons. Like, season 4 solidified my hatred of Diane, and then season 5 just really pushed her to the next level. I hate season 5. I really do. BoJack Horseman, I really hate season 5. But then season 6 came in with the clutch. Made me like Diane again. Have you heard of Jimmy Two Shoes? That sounds familiar, but hello, just want to pop in and say I love your videos. They always brighten my day when I'm down. Oh. I had friends trying to teach how to get good at Dance Dance Revolution at Dave & Buster's. Yeah, I have DDR mats for Mario DDR. Because that was my exercise of choice. I was like, I need to exercise regularly. So I went and I bought Mario DDR, and I loved it. I love DDR in general. The problem is the mats you get, like, they don't last long. They're, no matter what, they're gonna be bad quality. Oh wow, I completely skipped over there. But yeah, I would say I'm better than the average person at DDR, but I don't think I would still call myself, like, talented or anything. I should say skilled rather than talented. You should do a God of War video. What would I do? Like, if I do video games, it's probably going to be on my second channel, because that's where I play video games at. Only reason I'm streaming games on here is just to, like, give you guys something physical to watch while I answer questions. And the reason I play this game is because I don't have to concentrate. Why is this place so dirty? The running theory is that there's an active volcano and it's causing soot to be everywhere in this game. This is a game about power washing, so everywhere you go is going to be dirty because it's your job to wash it. You have a gaming channel. What's your second channel called? It's called Shady Doorags. If you go to my actual channel and you just scroll to the bottom to the recommended channels, it's down there. I haven't uploaded anything on there in a while because I was supposed to play Kingdom Hearts and I never got around to buying it. Like my PS4 is just sitting there right next to my computer. And when I was on vacation, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go buy Kingdom Hearts. But then I ran into a bunch of trouble with other stuff on the channel. So I was like, that's going to have to wait. Have you ever played the Futurama game or considered making a video on it? No, I have not played the Futurama. I didn't even know that was a thing. Realistically, more than one person will be working on all that power washing. Well, there is a multiplayer. There's a lot of things that's not realistic about this game. Like the thing doesn't just become clean just because you power wash it. Like all the dirt up there would fall onto the floor and blah blah blah. You can stay there. I gotta wash over here. This is Power Wash Simulator. It's kind of shocking that some people would like come here and not know what this is, because Markiplier has kind of made this game famous. The Game Grumps have also played this. Jacksepticeye has played this. Blep, thank you very much. Hope you're doing well, bro. Much love. Well, I'm sick, but you know, things could be a lot worse. Like I barely feel my symptoms. I just get fatigued a lot. That's the main thing. That's the annoying thing because I like going out for walks. Walks help me with thinking of scripts and stuff. But if I get fatigued easily, I can't go for walks. Smitty introduced me to this game. I just discovered Smitty like this week because I love Mario Party videos and I just discovered his Mario Party videos. So it's interesting that you bring up Smitty. What was that noise? It's not like somebody was breathing into my ear. Have you played Modern Warfare 2? No, I'm not a big shooters guy. Do. I keep hearing a noise. And I'm like, what is that noise? Where's it? I think it's coming from the game, and it's. Yeah, I think this thing is creaking every time I move up and down. I keep thinking it's my chair. I have a new chair, a new desk chair that my mom got me. She got it for me for Christmas, but she's like, it's too big to wrap, and I need you to take it out of here because she's going on vacation this Christmas. So I got an early Christmas present. You a Harry Potter fan? Not really. Like I know the story of Harry Potter, but I have a lot of gripes with it. And no, it's not because of Rowling. Like I have a lot of gripes with the story. What cartoon have you always wanted to talk about but haven't yet for one reason or another? That I've always wanted to talk about? A lot of the ones I always wanted to talk about, I got off the list. I scratched off the list like this or last year. Like Avatar, Kim Possible, DuckTales. I scratched all those off this year. A cartoon I've always wanted to talk about but haven't. Not 100% sure. I'll think on that. What do you think of FNAF? I love FNAF. I absolutely love FNAF. I get sucked into the hype of FNAF whenever stuff comes out. Like, I thought I was done with it after help wanted. But man, Security Breach reignited my love for FNAF. And Security Breach is like not a good game. Security Breach is a very bad game, but I just get so sucked into the lore of stuff. Like the experience of Security Breach just seems so interesting to me. I've never played a single FNAF. I own some FNAF games, but I've never played a single one. Would you ever make a super long, like 3+ hour long video essay? The longer I go, the less likely something like that is to happen. I've made an hour-long review of Miraculous. That's the longest video I've ever made. But like, whenever I make videos, I constantly have this thing in the back of my head of it needs to get done as soon as possible. So like, if there's an idea I have, but I feel like it's going to take too long, I kind of stray away from it. I've wanted to make a review of Star versus the Forces of Evil, the finale, for a long time, and I feel like that's going to be a super long video. But I can, like, every time I start working on the script, I kind of just stop. How much for you to live stream FNAF? Please do it. Well, I know every game in FNAF, so I don't know if it would be worth you guys watching. I mean, if somebody, if enough people really wanted me to do it, you know, obviously I would have no problem doing it. It's just when most people watch someone play something like FNAF or Poppy, they want to see their first time reaction. And I know all the games. Like, I've watched lots of Let's Play of all the games. So I would have no problem doing a FNAF run through. I would just need to be convinced that people would want to see it. Because I already know all the games. So, like, most people don't want to see my 50th reaction to it. They want to see my first reaction to it. Hey, Shady, been watching you for a few years now. I think since the start of the pandemic. Just want to say, keep up the good work. You're not the boss of me. I do what I want. Not keeping up the good work anymore. Was there ever a cartoon or a movie that you thought was made or shown by one company or station, but was actually made by another company, like Anastasia being a Disney movie? I thought Ice Age was DreamWorks for a long time. I didn't know who Blue Sky Studio was for a long time. And I constantly have to remind myself. Wait, okay, now I'm confused. Encanto's a Pixar movie, right? Luca's a Pixar movie. I was gonna say, well, I constantly have to remind myself that Encanto's a Pixar movie, but then I was like, wait a second, is it a Pixar movie? Do you play Smash Bros? If so, your favorite character, most wanted character? I stopped playing Nintendo for a long time. I did play Smash Bros up until the Wii U, because the Wii U is when I stopped like doing anything Nintendo related, because I was really annoyed at what Nintendo was doing. My favorite character has always been Link. Like, even before I got into Zelda, Smash Bros is how I got into Zelda, because I love the character Link. Most wanted character? I don't know, like, I see Shantae everywhere, even though I've never played any of her games. But, like, the character I would personally want... I mean, they put Sora in the game, so, like, I don't... I don't know if I could ever get past that. Do you play Fortnite? No, I do not play Fortnite. I barely play video games. I would like to change that. I've been saying that all year. Oh, I want to change that. I want to get more into video games. how I got into Zelda was I was playing Smash Brothers. I was playing Melee, and Melee had just came out, and there was a character called Zelda, and I was like, wait, her name's Zelda? Well, why is the game called Legend of Zelda if her name is Zelda? And my brother was just like, because he didn't feel like explaining it, and so he went and got his copy of. Well, he went to look for Ocarina of Time, but he couldn't find it. So he got his copy of Majora's Mask, and he's like, "Here, play this, and that'll help explain it." And I played it, and oh my goodness, I was in love. It took me a second. I was like, "Why is there no jump button? This is so stupid. I hate this." But then, like, as I played it more and more, got into puzzle solving and whatnot, I was like, actually, yeah, I didn't realize it at the time, but that was more of my style of gameplay. And I fell in love so hard, so fast. Like I was telling my brother, I was like, look, this corner right here. There's nothing here. It's just here for me to explore. That's really cool. What is the best cartoon that has a surprising amount of character depth, and why is it Adventure Time? I mean, Adventure Time, yeah, that's a good answer to that question. A surprising amount of character depth. I mean, I didn't expect, well, yes I did, because everybody told me it was going to happen. I was going to say tear along the dotted line, but everybody told me there was going to be massive character moments in there. That's surprising amount of character depth. I mean, I guess BoJack Horseman technically, because nobody expected BoJack Horseman to go as deep as it did. They thought it was going to be a Family Guy or a South Park clone. Nowadays, adult cartoons do that all the time, where they start out as a comedy and then they like trick you with feelings and character growth and blah blah blah. But when BoJack did it, like nobody expected it to happen. Naruto versus Deku. I haven't seen My Hero Academia, so I don't know anything about Deku. I know Naruto is one of the most OP anime characters in existence. And yes, I was really hot when Death Battle said Hiei could defeat Sasuke. I'm like, what? Because Sasuke is so broken. How on earth? Like, and I think Yu Yu Hakusho is a superior anime to Naruto. I do. I love Hiei way more than I love Sasuke. But Sasuke is so broken. And then I had a fit. I still get angry when they're like, oh, Toph can defeat Gaara. Like, no. I adore Avatar. Absolutely. Toph, an amazing character. But there is no way she would defeat Gaara. Absolutely not. No. Well, I don't know. I think Steven Universe has everybody beat in Talk No Jutsu. Yu Yu Hakusho is amazing. The Dark Tournament is one of the best anime. What are they called? Arcs? I forget what they're called. It's one of the best anime arcs in all of anime. It slightly falls off towards the end. Because it gets a little... They're trying to go for like a happily ever after route. But still an amazing experience. Same person who made Hunter x Hunter. I mean, you could tell when you look at the character designs. I guess you could say Gaara vs. Toph was a terrible video. I love puns. 15 points to Gryffindor for that pun. Yeah, it just the the Toph versus Gara fight just annoyed me so much because it was the first fight Death Battle ever did where I was insanely aware of both characters' abilities. And they screwed up so badly. Like, I could not believe how much they had to buff up Toph to say that she was on not only on par, that she could beat Gara. I'm like, Toph's not anywhere near Gara's level, let alone saying she could beat him. And again, I love Avatar. Don't even try it. Naruto annoys me. Naruto's one of the animes that got me to quit anime. What is the weirdest thing with a fandom you have ever seen? Not the fandom itself, but that they are a fan of. I don't know if this counts, but that meme with the with Twilight Sparkle and Mordecai, like, I would never understand that meme. Ever do a live stream where you do a face-to-face? A face-to-face with who? I've shown my face on live stream, if that's what you mean. The only reason I'm not showing my face now is A, I don't feel like using my camera, and B, the camera that I have, it was advertised to be a really good streaming camera, but it overheats very easily, which none of the people who did the reviews said. Apparently that's just something you expect with recording cameras, because it's one of those cameras like where you film scenes rather than being made specifically for streaming. So I have to reinvest in a streaming camera rather than the one I have. Which is very annoying because this one was it was not cheap. Like, my camera it would go for like an hour, maybe two, and then it would overheat and I would have to change the battery. And the thing is, it has a latch that opens and you can plug in a battery or have like one of those rechargeable batteries as well, or not rechargeable, charging batteries. But the latch doesn't open fully. So if I put it on a tripod, which I need for how I'm filming, if I put it on a tripod, it doesn't. It won't be able to stay on the tripod with that latch open. So I was very annoyed when I found that out. Fable? Do I own Fable? I saw somebody play Fable 2, and I was like, I really want to play that with somebody. Fable is something I would love to stream, actually. Like, take it seriously and stream it, or do a Let's Play of it. Just from what I saw in Fable 2. Like, I don't know if the rest of the games are like that, but... Sounds like they ripped you off over that camera. No, the camera works. It's just the people who reviewed it don't know what people are looking for in streaming cameras. Because they're like, this camera is good for recording and good for streaming. But when you're streaming, when you're a streamer, you're not just going for an hour or two a lot of times. You're going for like massive hours, or maybe you're doing a subathon, you're going for days. Like, it's not something you should be adjusting every hour or two. So it's a quality camera. It works. It records in HD. It doesn't work for a long time because the batteries overheat. But that's something that's to be expected with regular recording cameras, apparently. They really need to clean the station more often than once a decade. What's your favorite Final Fantasy game? I have never played Final Fantasy. I wasn't big into JRPGs other than Pokemon. And if you count Kingdom Hearts. Most people do count Kingdom Hearts, but I know there's some who won't. What's a cartoon you want to talk about but haven't gotten around to? Somebody's asked similar questions to that. Justice League. I was planning a Justice League video for this December. I don't know if I'm going to go through with it because I don't think the episode I want to review is the Christmas episode, and I don't think like that episode has enough material for me to do my usual Shady Doorags review style. But Justice League is one I've wanted to get to for a while. And now's a good time to do it since a lot of new subscribers came from the Teen Titans video. Yeah, Justice League, the animated series, definitely one. Spider-Man, Spider-Man the animated series and Spectacular Spider-Man I've wanted to do. But I don't know what I would say about those shows because like I would have to do a retrospective on them, which I'm not the best at. Make sure to talk about the Hero Nobody Knows episode. The thing I'm doing now with Avatar, where I review every single episode, I started doing that with Justice League a long time ago. If you go through the channel's videos, you'll eventually find it, assuming YouTube fixed that glitch that they had a couple of years ago where they deleted half my videos and only I could see them. But yeah, I didn't get past it was the third episode was the last one I reviewed because at the time I had less than 100 subscribers and I was working and I was going to school, so I just didn't have time. What Batman shows have you seen? I've seen Batman the Animated Series. I've seen The Batman. I've seen Brave and Bold. If you want to count the Justice League shows, I've seen them. Since you're massive Dr. Seuss fans, I want to know what you think of the mean one. Winnie the Pooh did it first, and it already did it bad, so... Like, it doesn't look like it's going to be good. It looks like it's made from the exact same people who did the Winnie the Pooh one. And the Winnie the Pooh one, like, I didn't see it, but I saw clips from it. It was really bad. Like, I was hoping they would do, like, a really good scary movie on Winnie the Pooh. But, man. So now that Winnie the Pooh has already done it, the Grinch doesn't even have novelty. Like I've said constantly that if you know the lore of Dr. Seuss, the Grinch is a very mean and evil character. Like if you go down and watch the one where the Grinch comes to Whoville just to give them nightmares, it's like, oh my goodness, why? Thoughts on the Batman? At the time, it was very weird because it was very different. They did Batgirl before they did Robin. They got that Michael Keegan, not Michael Keegan. What's that name? I just talked about him in the Teen Titans video. Kevin Michael Richardson. That's who it is. Yeah, he was the Joker in the Batman. And a lot of people, when they heard the snake in the Teen Titans episode, they were like, "Hey, that's Mark Hamill. And I thought it was Mark Hamill too. I was like, oh, they got Mark Hamill to play the Snake. No, that's still Kevin Michael Richardson. Like, Kevin Michael Richardson can sound almost exactly like Mark Hamill's Joker. And I'm like, that's so appropriate considering he played the Joker in the Batman. Who's your favorite Joker? Mark Hamill. I love Mark Hamill. Kevin Michael Richardson has a special place in my heart. Mark Hamill is my favorite Joker. Heath Ledger did a great job. Joaquin Phoenix did a great job. The YouTuber is just some random guy. He also did a great job. It still surprises me that Luke Skywalker is the Joker. Would it surprise you to know that Luke Skywalker is the Fire Lord? Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. I don't know anything about that show other than the song. Whenever I do like a cool move in like a video game or something, I just scream that out. Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go! What's your favorite Marvel movie, not counting Morbius? Civil War is my favorite Marvel movie. Even though Captain America ticks me off in that movie. Captain America ticks me off a lot in the MCU. Like, I partially think it's casting. Like, I said it before and I'll say it again. I never thought Chris Evans was a good Steve Rogers. Never. I thought he was a perfect Johnny Storm, but I never thought he was a good Steve Rogers. Who's your favorite live-action Spider-Man? Probably Andrew. I hated the first Amazing Spider-Man. I really did. But I loved the second one. And a lot of people's like, oh, it's too convoluted. It's too confusing. I'm like, yeah, that's how comic books are. Which I get it, you know, adaptations. So I don't blame people when they say that. But it was never a problem for me because comic books are like that. They're convoluted and confusing. I think The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is very underestimated. But I've said it before, there has not been a good live-action Spider-Man yet. Toby was a great Peter Parker, but they didn't give him enough lines as Spider-Man. Andrew was an okay Spider-Man. He did a great job in the second movie, but they missed out on the nerdy aspect of Peter Parker, like the outcast aspect of him. And Tom just isn't. Tom doesn't become Spider-Man until No Way Home, and even in No Way Home, like I've said this before, if you've never been on a live stream, like I think No Way Home is vastly. Spider-Man is my #1 favorite fictional character, and I think No Way Home is vastly overrated. The only reason people love No Way Home so much is because of nostalgia and the acting of very nostalgic characters. Like the acting is great. But the story is not. The story is and you know, the story having plot holes and stuff isn't that bad. But the fact of the matter is, Spider-Verse did it first and better. Spider-Verse did everything No Way Home did first and better. But because it didn't have as much nostalgic acting going on for it, I mean, people still love Spider-Verse. Don't get me wrong. But No Way Home was this big spectacle because people love to see like the thing they knew come together with the thing they know. The whole Tom trilogy failed to set up Spider-Man in 3 movies. Well, that's what the Tom trilogy does. It spends 3 movies setting up MCU Spider-Man because the first 2 movies were not about Spider-Man. They were about Iron Man's sidekick. And they failed to really like they tried, but they failed to separate him from Iron Man. Because you know the whole second movie was about him getting away from the Iron Man pressure and being his own hero. And then they set up this thing in the second movie where everybody knows his identity, okay, and then they don't follow through with it because they're trying to go the route of telling a more traditional Spider-Man story now when they've already had 2 movies where they weren't doing that. So they had to pretty much delete everything they've done with Spider-Man so far. And I love Spider-Man humor so much. I love it. If you don't know what Spider-Man humor is, I can tell you, Into the Spider-Verse understands Spider-Man humor. The Spider-Man the Animated Series understands Spider-Man humor. Spectacular Spider-Man understands Spider-Man humor. Those are the 3 prime examples of Spider-Man humor. MCU does not understand Spider-Man humor, and it ticks me off so much. It really ticks me off. Because his humor is a huge part of his character. You think the MCU will be able to finally do justice to the Fantastic Four? No, because the MCU sucks now. The MCU can't do justice to the characters they're currently doing. How do you feel about Ed, Edd and Eddy? It was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. Hilarious. Only reason I don't review it is because it's comedy focused, and I'm not good at reviewing comedy focused stuff. Are you excited for Guardians 3? I don't watch Marvel stuff, so no. I told myself Endgame, that was it. I'm only watching Spider-Man stuff because Endgame is where the story should have ended in the MCU. I'm only watching Spider-Man because I'm a huge fan of Spider-Man. But after No Way Home, I'm probably not even going to do that because No Way Home ticked me off so much. No Way Home wouldn't have ticked me off so much if they didn't promise Venom. That's what really got me. No Way Home promised Venom and then didn't deliver on him. Man, that ticked me off. Like, it doesn't even make sense for Venom to be in that movie. He doesn't even know what a Spider-Man is, let alone who Spider-Man is. What's your opinion on the Sonic movies? I said this earlier in the stream. I think they're heavily flawed movies, but I don't care. They please their target audience so much that I absolutely love them. When Knuckles, Sonic, and Tails are together in Spider-Man 2, like, I absolutely lose it every time. Are you excited to see Amy Rose and Metal Sonic in future Sonic movies? Amy, yes, because I love Amy's character, especially in Sonic Boom. Metal Sonic, not really. I didn't grow up with that particular Sonic game. Spider-Man 2, I've never been the biggest fan of Spider-Man 2 because it doesn't have that much Spider-Man in it. It's mostly about Peter. But, you know, it does have the best fight scene, so that's what, like, it's a solid movie. It's just I go to Spider-Man movies for Spider-Man. Peter Parker, yes, he needs to be done right. Yeah, even I thought Venom's scene in No Way Home was just awful. They should have not bothered. Well, they're setting up for an MCU Venom. The problem is that if you watch Let There Be Carnage, they're baiting you. Like, they bait you in Let There Be Carnage that Venom is going to be in No Way Home. I got so excited when I saw that, because I was like, this Venom's flawed, but he looks and sounds like Venom. And I want to see this Venom interact with a Spider-Man. Like, I really want to see that. Like, if you've seen Let There Be Carnage, how the scene goes is, you know, the whole cabin shakes. Eddie turns into Venom. He looks at the TV. He sees Peter and he says, "Ooh, yummy." That's how Venom would have interacted with Spider-Man. I'm like, that looks like the interaction I've been waiting for. And then they didn't do anything. Like, it felt such like that. That's what ticked me off when I left the theater, because I was already upset about certain things happening in the freaking movie, but them just baiting Venom like that, I was like, that's not okay. Do you ever think about making a video about Static Shock? I know a lot of people would probably watch it because I'm black and Static is black and blah blah blah, but like, I would really need to find something that I would care about for Static Shock, because I love Static Shock growing up, but there's not much in it that I just feel compelled to talk about. I love making fun of Tariq, though. Be like, go talk about Static Shock, Tariq. Do you prefer Legend Luke or Canon Luke? I don't know who those are. Are you talking about Luke Skywalker? Supervillains teach that being a superhero in real life would suck most of the time. Well, I mean, that's the gist of Spider-Man's entire arc. Spider-Man has like one of the worst lives. A lot of things I've said before, like Spider-Man's life a lot of times is self-imposed. That's why I get so mad when the comics get on his case about just being happy for himself. Like, first of all, if anyone's earned it, it's him. Second of all, it's not okay to make. I mean, it's not okay. It's not bad to make sure your life is fine before you start trying to help others. That's what you should do. How do you feel about Sony's Kraven the Hunter is vegan and animal lover? I think that's really weird. Why would Kraven be? Was he a vegan in the comics? I don't think so. Like, he's a hunter. Like, that doesn't make any sense. He's supposed to be like an alpha predator. Ayo, but Black Adam movie hit hard for me. I haven't seen that one. I'm not too interested in cinema superheroes. Like, I was going to discuss this in the Justice League video. I still might. I'm not sure if I'm going to make that video, though. But, like, a lot of today's heroes, like, just, they don't resonate well with me. Because I grew up with animated heroes who the shows tried really hard to show you they were good people. Like, I like great characters. I do. If all the great characters in the universe disappeared, I would be really mad. But a lot of times the heroes on the big screens are just, they're not trying to be good people. That's why I really want to talk about the that's why I really want to talk about the Justice League what's it called? Justice League Christmas episode. Because that's just them being good people. There you go. Whoever asked me to draw a face. Like, I don't want to sound like great characters are just an awful thing, but it's just like I think of Man of Steel and how Superman destroyed that guy's truck, and I'm the whole time just thinking that's not Superman. Superman would not have. That's some guy wearing his logo. And then I go back and I watch Justice League, the animated series, and Superman is the nicest guy. Just, oh man. Please make that video. Well, I'm just struggling with like the wording and keeping it interesting. It's like there's something in me that's like, oh, a Shady Doorags video needs to be like this. You have to make it. You have to make this many jokes and blah blah blah. And I know that's not necessarily true. It's just the more videos you make, the more of a style you kind of feel you have to stick to. Don't you know, Shady, being a good person doesn't make you a strong woman trait, Mark. You have to steal things and hit your friend. Peak Superman is when a kid compliments his costume and he says, "Thanks, my mom made it." Hey Shady, what do you think of Brightburn? That sounds familiar, but I'm not sure what that is. You could watch the animated movie Man of Tomorrow. It's basically Man of Steel, but good. Yeah, I've heard a lot of the animated stuff is still good. I'm just assuming that was something animated. Just turn that into a segue. It wasn't actually one. All-Star Superman is amazing. All-Star Superman is alright. I read the comics, so, you know, my brain's constantly comparing it to the comics. Oh, Brightburn. Yeah, Evil Superman. Okay, yeah. I never watched it. I mean, Evil Superman, when Brightburn came out, Evil Superman was a novel concept, but now it's like everywhere. You got The Boys, you got Invincible. I mean, you could find Evil Superman throughout DC stories. It was just the mainstream wasn't aware of them. Which is why a lot of people I got so ticked when people try to defend Man of Steel and be like, no, it's just a gritty, more realistic version of the character. And I'm like, no, comics have done this. Go read freaking Red Sun, okay? That's a more like difficult Superman to process. Man of Steel is just a completely different character with Superman's powers. Do you see that fight between Homelander and Omni-Man? It went as I expected. Yeah, everybody saw that fight. Well, I shouldn't say that. It went as everybody expected. That's what I meant to say. Death Battle normally doesn't do curb fights, but or curb stomp fights, but when they do, you know that like they're doing it for like satisfying characters. Like everybody just wanted to see what's his name, get curb stomped by Omni-Man. What about Death Battle Goku versus Superman? What about it? Jeez, the original Goku versus Superman came out almost 10 years ago. I remember because everybody was making... When the fight came out, the joke was supposed to be that's how the world would end in 2012. That Goku and Superman fight was so enormous that it destroyed the world. They had to push the release date back of the episode, though, so it ruined the joke. Jeez, they've been doing Death Battle for over 10 years. Goku would win. If you think Goku would win against Superman, you don't know anything about Superman. There are very few characters who I can say... Well, I shouldn't say very few. Because there are certain magic-aligned characters. Like, I actually think Ben 10 might beat Superman. Because Ben 10's Omnitrix is so broken. I watch Death Battle, but it's mainly for like entertainment. Maybe it's just because I'm older now, but I don't take their word at full force. They make really good spectacle fights. That's all I'm there for. Like, once Gaara versus Toph happened, they lost pretty much all my respect. But Saitama... Well, Death Battle made a good point about Saitama. Is that he's not... Apparently, I've never seen the anime, but apparently he's not limitless. It's just that no one in his world can challenge him. Alright, that one's done. Ben has Alien X who can just know anyone. Yeah! Ben has two broken features. One is Alien X, who is like, he's just the I win character. He can literally do anything. And the other is the Omnitrix's self-defense, where if Ben is in trouble, it warps him to the best alien for the job, especially if he has the Ultimatrix. Because the Ultimatrix, if you give him the Ultimatrix and you have him fight Superman, all Superman has to do is touch the Ultimatrix and Ben wins. Because it would turn Ben into a Kryptonian, the ultimate form of a Kryptonian. And that would immediately, like... That would be so much stronger than Superman. You know what I think would be an interesting DC Marvel crossover? Batman versus the Punisher. There was a comic that did that. It was Avengers versus the Justice League. They didn't show it. It happened off screen, but it was implied that Batman defeated the Punisher. If you've never, I think I've talked about this on the stream before. If you're like interested about the philosophy of DC and Marvel, Justice League versus the Avengers is one of the greatest reads, because it talks about their world's philosophies. How DC is gods who want to protect humans, while Marvel is basically super soldiers. And when the Avengers first meet the Justice League descend onto the Avengers from on high. It's very symbolic how they do it. And the Justice League and the Avengers, they don't like each other because the Avengers feel like the Justice League is doing way too much. They're interfering too much with their world. And the Justice League feel like the Avengers aren't doing enough. Like, they just let their world become chaotic. Imagine if Batman and Spider-Man swapped their rogue gallery. Batman and Spider-Man have similar rogues gallery. I mean, Spider-Man has the Lizard, Batman has Killer Croc. Oh, Spider-Man has Green Goblin, Batman has the Joker. Okay, the Joker would defeat Spider-Man. Well, no, because Spider-Man has a spider sense. No, you can get past the spider sense. There is a way. And the Joker is a genius, so he'd be able to figure it out. Because the Green Goblin figured out how to get past the spider sense. I was going to say the Joker might be able to make Spider-Man crack and turn evil, but that's hard to do with Spider-Man. Like, he keeps almost doing it, and then something snaps him out of it. Like, there was somebody who killed, they killed Spider-Man's clone, and Spider-Man, he pretty much snapped. Like, he's like, you guys don't understand just how much I hold back. And he took his hand, made it sticky, put it on the woman's face, and then ripped her skin off. But somebody else was there to calm him down. And I bring this up all the time. Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D., they are just in awe of how Spider-Man's not a supervillain. In Nick Fury's files on Spider-Man, he's like, we are lucky this kid is not a supervillain. His life just sucks. I'm expecting it to happen at any time. And a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent had to take Peter Parker out, so they mentally knocked him out, but in order to do that, they had to read his mind first. And she's like, oh my goodness, this poor man has been through so much. And she was talking to Maria, was the director at the time. She was talking to Maria. She's like, you should look over his files. He's been through so much. Shady, go blow your nose? Okay, fine. I'll go do that. All right, I'm back. Giving your dislike for the victim mentality, how do you feel about the way Batman the Animated Series handled its villains. I don't remember Batman the Animated Series that well. I would have to rewatch it. Sorry about that. I hadn't realized the sniffing had gotten so bad. Like, it's one of those things that just gradually builds up and then you don't realize it. The thing that Spider-Man has that Peter doesn't is psychology. Spider-Man can understand the psychology of the people he's fighting Batman can understand the psychology of the people he's fighting as he's fighting them. So if he were to fight against Spider-Man, he could easily get into his head. Spider-Man would have a harder time doing that. Spider-Man's big advantage would be his spider sense. There's pretty much no way Batman would be able to catch Spider-Man by surprise unless he knew the spider sense existed. If he knew or figured it out, he might be able to do something because the spider sense can be overcome. There are ways of getting past it. It's funny that that moment is very similar to Bruce Wayne versus Bane fight. There are such solid moments. I remember there was an episode of Batman the Animated Series where they talked about it. Is it Batman's or their own fault for becoming evil? What's that dude's name? There was one guy. I can't remember his name. But he was like, he respects Batman, but he thinks Batman should retire. Because what's happening with Batman is there's a yin-yang effect. Batman is a greater good, and because of that, a greater evil has to come to match him. So he himself is doing good, but he's causing greater evils to happen. I think it was Justin Lord who said that. Who would win, Dr. Octopus versus Man-Bat? I don't know anything about Man-Bat. Dr. Octopus has beaten Spider-Man before with prep time. More often than not, Spider-Man will beat Dr. Octopus, but he has beaten Spider-Man before. Like, I think if they just met each other, it's very plausible that Spider-Man would win. Just because that spider sense is one of the most broken powers in comics. Like, you either have to be faster than Spider-Man, which the average human is not going to be faster than Spider-Man. You have to be superhuman to be faster than Spider-Man. Or you have to know it exists and be able to get around it. Which there are two ways of getting around it. You either have the instincts of something that preys on a spider, like Scorpion, or you use technology to block it out, which is what Venom does. Well, Venom doesn't use technology, but Venom blocks out the spider sense. And a lot of people really don't understand how broken the spider sense is. Like, it's not just warning him of danger. Peter is so good with his own spider sense, it guides his every movement, and he doesn't even realize it. There's supposed to be a chemical weapon that can neutralize his spider sense. Yes, there is. There are a couple of weapons. Peter figured it out because there were some other people with spider senses, and Peter had to. I think his was electrical, though. I don't think it was chemical. Venom, the symbiotes are chemical weapons that don't work on Spider-Man's spider sense, and Green Goblin figured it out. No. Green Goblin didn't figure. Green Goblin figured out how to block his spider detectors. Spider-Man had robots running around detecting if something was going on in the city. Best way to beat Spider-Man? Distract him. Have a crime somewhere else. Spider-Man cannot help but help people. Have a crime somewhere else and get out of there, because he's very good at technology. Like, he's not a detective like Batman, but he can solve crimes because of how good he is with tech. That's how Doc Ock beat him. Doc Ock had this master plan for Spider-Man, and Spider-Man eventually thwarted it, but what he didn't realize was that the whole plan was just a distraction. All of it was just a distraction. That's one of my favorite comic books. Spider-Man at World's End. Really good comic book series. Like, it's a comic book series dedicated to just praising Spider-Man and the journey he's been through. I feel like spider robots would have would backfire, like having fly cameras. Well, the spider robots were just to alert Spider-Man. This was when Doc Ock was living in Spider-Man's head instead of Peter Parker. So he became the superior Spider-Man, and he made robots to monitor the city for him, so he wouldn't have to do it himself. And this is what I talk about where I say I get mad, because a lot of people are looking at him like, what do you mean you're not monitoring the city yourself? You should be doing that yourself. I'm like, why? And it just so happened that Green Goblin found a way to bypass the spider robots. But yeah, they weren't made for fighting. They were just made for like tracking and monitoring. And then Spider-Man would appear on the scene. How do you feel about the PS4 game? Are you excited for the sequel? I never played it. I know this plot because I watched Snapcube. So I will. That's a game I would like to get into next year. Hey, new to your channel, I love your work. Watched your Green Eggs and Ham review last night, and I was wondering if you saw another Warner Brothers animated show, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. I did, but I don't know much about it. That came out during a time where I didn't like when things were different, and Fred was very different. Velma dating Shaggy was different, and I was just like, I was really judging that show. Specifically with Fred. Like, Fred just felt dumb. Have you done videos on comics? If not, you should. I'm enjoying talking to you about them. No, I do have a... Well, I don't want to say it's a huge collection, but I have a bookshelf full of comics. Because when I was a teenager until I was about like 25, I was heavily into comics. I've always been into the superhero genre. Just, comics was teenage to college years, specifically. Plus, my comic knowledge is very outdated. I haven't read a comic since, what, 2017? Hey, Shade, question. Your second channel, are you wearing 2 Doorags? No. Alright, so now we just got this corridor, and then whatever I missed, because I probably missed some stuff. Yeah, I can already see one right here. Didn't Joker try to kill Red Skull after learning he was a... Well, I doubt that, considering Joker is DC and Red Skull is Marvel. Unless there's a crossover I don't know about. Do you prefer DC or Marvel? Well, I haven't read their recent stuff. When I was reading comic books, I preferred Marvel, because DC at the time when I was reading was very, very melodramatic. And also, I loved reading Spider-Man more than anything, so. My favorite issues were Spider-Man, Green Lantern, Batman, I didn't like X-Men. X-Men tended to be way too wordy. Once you get around to playing Spider-Man on the PS4, you should play it on your second channel. I might do that. I'm planning on being more busy next year, but we'll have to see. As in doing more content stuff for the channels. I think to get a good shot, you need something to surprise him, and that's not something a normal person can do. Or to distract him. Like, the spider sense only works if Peter's, well, okay. The spider for major things only works if Peter's paying attention. If he's overstimulated, the spider sense will warn him, but he might not catch it. Peter specifically is very good with his spider sense, though. Like, that's the problem. Who was it? Iron Fist. When Iron Fist was asked, who's the toughest opponent you've ever fought? He was like, Spider-Man. Because, like, for some reason, you can't freaking hit the guy. And, you know, Iron Fist has superhuman abilities. Wait, did I say Iron Fist? Dragon Fist. It depends on the writers. Well, yeah, that's always going to be the answer. Have you ever planned on doing a TMNT movie or show review? Not really. I kind of missed out on the Rise hype. Like, Rise probably would have been a good time to do, but I could see me doing one, but... I don't have any plans for it. Oh, was it Iron Fist? Am I getting that wrong? Are those even two different characters? Iron Fist and Dragon Fist? Or am I just thinking of the Dragon Ball Z move? Alright, I'm going to blow my nose again. Okay, I'm back. The Web of Life, I think you might be talking... If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, in Spider-Man, Madam Web watches over, like, the Web of Destiny or whatever, which is connected to Peter Parker specifically. It's connected to people with spider powers, but Peter Parker is like the one who influences it. So I think that's what you're referring to with the Web of Life. Shady low-key loves Disenchantment. No. I do want to see Disenchanted. Disenchantment? No. Disenchantment ticks me off. Because it's trying too hard to seem like surprising and whatnot. Instead of just telling the story, it wants to constantly surprise you with the story. Goku is way faster than Spider-Man. He would destroy Spider-Man. Even with Spider-Man's Spidey sense. Goku would destroy him because he's not fast enough. If you're faster than Spider-Man, you can destroy him because he can't. Just because his spider sense goes off doesn't mean he can react to it. Did more people play Pokemon at your school or Yu-Gi-Oh? Yu-Gi-Oh. They did play Pokemon, but I stayed away from the people who played Pokemon because I wasn't allowed to play it. But Yu-Gi-Oh was the big thing at my school. I remember that you would lug your Yu-Gi-Oh deck around in your backpack or in your locker all day. I didn't get lockers till I was in high school. My middle school had lockers, but we didn't get any. We didn't get to use them. They were just decoration. But yeah, you'd lug those Yu-Gi-Oh cards around, and then end of the day comes. It's time to. My deck sucked. I still have my deck. Well, a lot of my cards I sold or gave away to my friends. But I still have like a good chunk of my cards. Common Sense, thank you very much. Read Aranya comics. Hear Anya in Madam Web movie. I've not read Aranya comics, no. I remember being told a long time ago there was a Madam Web movie coming out, but I don't really have any care for that. The MCU has completely lost any faith I have. The only superhero movie stuff I'm looking forward to is Into the Spider-Verse. I think I could take this extension off now. Because they actually know how to write Spider-Man. Have you watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge series? Yes, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. You know, when Little Karibo gets around to making episodes. But he's on the final season, so I'm just really hoping he can finish it. So I know he's got all those health problems and stuff. I binged his Let's Watch series for Yu-Gi-Oh! GX as well. Little Karibo is just funny, man. I know they say he's the granddaddy of a bridge series. Like, Team 4-Star would not exist if he didn't do his thing. And I have to constantly remind myself that he's the voice of freaking Frieza in TFS. Golden Sentinel, thank you very much. How do you feel on how Family Guy is handling Meg? I don't keep up with Family Guy. Family Guy left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth in the 2010s. And when I don't like something, I just don't watch it. So you could make an argument that since it's my job to watch this stuff, I probably should be watching it regardless if I like it or not. Are you into Skyrim? I am playing Skyrim right now. That's one of the few games I still play. Because the Legendary Edition got updated this year. So it's very interesting now because you can get weaker from being cold or from being hungry. Fast travel's disabled. That makes it really interesting because you use the carriages more often now because you don't have to fast travel. Or you can't fast travel. And even with the carriages, it's still simple. It's still interesting because the carriages only go to cities. So you have to find the closest city and then travel from there. Yeah, I'm playing Skyrim, and I'm also rewatching a Let's Play I've already seen of Skyrim. Many a True Nerd. I put it on just as like busy work because I was working on something, but now that I'm like 17 videos into it, I'm like, well, might as well finish watching it. Oh, the roof wasn't clean? I've added mods to my Skyrim. It looks like, because I have this light weather adjuster mod, but I'm so bad with the settings, it just does not look good. Like regular Skyrim looks better. Just because of the settings I have it set to. Like, yeah, I want these shadows to be super dark, but I want these shadows to be regular, and I want this sunlight to be super bright, but only at this time of the day. The main thing I have, like, there are two things that's wrong with mine. One, my character won't stop glowing. I don't know why. Like, my character just will not stop glowing. And the other thing is, shadows are way too dark. I gotta figure out what's going on with them. Like, it's really weird. Torches don't even work in the shadows for NPCs. They work for me, but not for NPCs. Yeah, Anniversary. I uninstalled Anniversary Edition until SKSE was able to update their thing. Because it broke all my mods too. This might be a weird question, but I've seen people calling the Goofy movie a black culture movie, and I was wondering what you think about that. I've never understood that, but then I've never really delved into black culture. Like, I never saw a Goofy movie as a black movie. Like, you ask me black movies, I'm like, The Color Purple, Friday. But I've never seen Goofy movie as a black movie. I just saw it. I see it as a '90s movie. It is so 90s dated. But I've never been one big on the black culture stuff. Like, I kind of recognize it when I see it. Proud Family, Static Shock. The PJs, that's another one. Yeah, I don't know. The stereotypes that are in that movie don't feel like the stereotypes you would find in the quote-unquote black community. I think really anybody can relate to and enjoy that movie. It's because the singer from Goofy Movie and that why it's called. Well, I mean, Tariq talks about this in his video about a Goofy Movie. And I kind of see what he's saying, but I just disagree with it. Like, I don't think that's something that people from black culture specifically can relate to. Only. Catman, the Burrito Master, thank you very much. There was a thing where the mods would load faster than the base game, caused infinite loading screen bug on every try. Anniversary launch was wild. Yeah, I mean, you knew they were going to fix it eventually. It was just, well, time to turn it off until they do that. Oh, that was weird. There was a lot of stuff on there. I don't remember what time this game takes place in. When is the King of the Hill Entrepreneur episode coming out? When I get around to it. I do not like to make promises because I almost never am able to fulfill them. So this right here says new for 1984. This is a ride that you clean. So it's got to be at least after the 80s. Or after 1984. This also says 84. Like, why would these vote Jeff 1984? Yeah, I guess it's 1984. From Mayor Jeff Jefferson. Oh, if I knew who the mayor was, I would know. The mayor is in this game. The mayor gives you a job. So if the mayor is Jeff Jefferson the 12th, then yeah, we're in 1984. We gotta get to Fast Bears. We gotta save them. I can't recall Bethesda doing anything like super horrible. Like the worst thing Bethesda does is they get like the wrong inclination about their own games. Like one of the big problems with Fallout 4 is that it doesn't feel like the game believes you have a choice in the matter, whereas New Vegas definitely did, and 3 it still kind of felt that way. Even though 3 also kind of pushed you in a linear path. What game is this? This is Power Wash Simulator. It is available on Steam. Markiplier has done a lot of videos on this particular game. I think, yeah, Markiplier is the most well-known when it comes to this game. Like, a lot of people liked his videos on it. He has a series, quote-unquote, he's only done like 3 episodes, where he gets a celebrity guest, and he just power washes with them while he's interviewing them. But he hasn't done that in a hot minute, so I don't know how dedicated he is to that series. The speed run of this game is just over 3 hours. Makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of levels to this game, but they're like almost I think every level has a time trial, so you're supposed to figure out like the fastest technique to watching it. I have the best power washer. Like, once you get this, it's just a relaxing time. These other ones can be very frustrating. Once you get this and all the extensions for it. Like, I don't even use the soap. I barely switch from the yellow nozzle. But the nozzles I go to are the yellow one and then sometimes the swervy one. Those are like the only 2 you really need. Once you get the most powerful version of the spray. Shady, what determines your upload frequency? Inspiration, a set schedule, or something else? If I had it my way, you guys would get 1 video every week. You would get a seriously edited video 1 week, and then you get something very simple like my avatar videos the next week. You would get 1 a week. The problem is I get tired. Not tired. I get creatively bankrupt with scripts. So after 2 weeks, if I don't upload something, I start panicking, and I'll do something like I'm doing right now where I'm live streaming, because I do not like to go 2 weeks on my channel with nothing there. So I can tell you right now, if I had it my way, you'd be getting a new video every single week. But I have to like take time to do other stuff so my brain can like get away from YouTube. I'm doing all these hand gestures. You guys can't see what I'm doing. I know some people said Goofy is actually a cow, and that's why he was shipped together with Maribel. I never heard that. Goof Troop Goofy is also the one in the DuckTales reboot. Yep. X-Men or X-Force? I don't know who the X-Force is. Are you telling us that we're watching you play a game instead of us getting a new video? I'm telling you that I couldn't get a new video up by today. So this is what you're getting. It's either this or nothing. Yeah, that Robot Chicken clip is still on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. Probably on the Adult Swim channel. Who do you think would win a fight between Spider-Man and Godzilla? Spider-Man, because Godzilla can be defeated with tech. If you give Batman and Spider-Man, both of them, if you give them tech and prep time, they win. It doesn't matter who they're going up against, they win. Oh, I guess that needed cleaning. Who's your favorite actor? I mean, it used to be Will Smith. But I haven't really seen him act in a minute. Not so sure about that one. I'm more about voice actors than I am actors, but... Like, I always wonder, is like, somebody like Cree Summers, who's so well known for her voice, has that, like, ever hindered her from getting, like, just acting roles? Like, not voice acting roles, but just acting roles. Common Sense, thank you very much. Enya Kurosan, I mean for Aranya Comics. Have you read Teen Titans Go 2004 comics? Is something to video about. Thoughts on Justice League, Gods and Monsters. I have not, no. I haven't. I have comics, but my knowledge of comics is outdated because in the 2010s, I just did not like where comics was going. They were replacing all heroes with other versions of the heroes and claiming that those were the better versions of the heroes. Like, I got annoyed. Well, that was Marvel. DC had been sucking for a while. Because DC just gets so melodramatic in their comics. It's like, oh, the universe is about to end for the 10th time. Favorite band? I do not have a favorite band. My music taste generally comes from YouTube or Broadway. Or my nostalgia. Those are three of the general places where my music taste comes from. Wokeness destroyed Marvel and DC. Wokeness didn't really destroy DC. DC Comics just weren't doing a good job. They eventually wokeness eventually started to infect DC, but that's not what brought them downhill. That's not what destroyed them. You like the SpongeBob Broadway musical? I never heard of that. Talking about Marvel and New 52, because that's not happening anymore, and DC made everything they ever made canon again. Well, yeah, New 52 was part of the reason. I got so ticked when New 52 happened. It's like, oh, you're just gonna reboot everything. Okay. Yeah, it's not like I dedicated myself to these characters. But the thing that DC was just running out of ideas, like you could tell, with the whole Batman time traveling thing with Darkseid. Like, you could tell they were just running out of ideas. Thoughts on Warhammer 40k? It's something a lot of nerds know about. I'm not one of them, unfortunately. Was it an oversaturation of comics in 1996? I couldn't tell you. Because I didn't start reading comics until the 2000s. And I liked a lot of the stuff I was reading in the 2000s. Like, I started reading when Hal Jordan came back. Like, when he came from being the Spectre, back to being Green Lantern. That was a fun time. Do you have a Tumblr account? No, I do not. Sir, what is your opinion on human nature? Humans have it. I'm not sure if there's a real way to answer that question. Like, I believe it exists. I thought they kept Jon Stewart, but maybe that was the DCAU thing. The Green Lanterns there was the original one whose weakness was wood. I forget his name. But he wasn't like he wasn't part of the Green Lantern Corps. After him was Hal Jordan, then Guy Gardner, then Jon Stewart. Hal Jordan turned evil after he was defeated. I can't remember if Kyle came before or after he was defeated, but Kyle Rayner eventually came. And after Hal Jordan was defeated, he became the Spectre. So he was like a Green Lantern themed Spectre. And then eventually he went from being the Spectre back to being a Green Lantern again. Because rather than just like say he was evil, they're like actually he was being controlled and influenced by Parallax, who was the entity of fear that was hidden within the ring, the Green Lantern Central Lantern, the Green Lantern Corps Central Lantern. Have you watched Solid JJ on YouTube? He does a comic thing skits. Yes, I have seen him. I watch a lot of his videos. The current best comic from DC is Jerry Adams' The Flash. He fixed Wally West. So I guess you mean the best current comic. The best comic from DC, like ever, is the one I consider to be the best comic book ever, which is Kingdom Come. Amazing story in Kingdom Come. Shocked that hasn't. Has Kingdom Come been made into a movie yet? I don't think it has. There's like 3 new Green Lanterns after Kyle. Yeah, there was the other black one. That's the only one I know of. I feel like it has too, but I have no memory if it was a movie. A movie about Grayson? I mean, it could work, but like, movies a lot of time are for mainstream audiences, and a lot of people don't know Grayson outside of being Robin. I mean, I guess you could talk about the Teen Titans fans. There are a lot of those. I don't trust anyone to make it well. Maybe the original BTAS people, but that's it. And unfortunately, you know, Tim is no longer a thing, so even if they make Kingdom Come, it's not going to have Tim's voice in it. Oh, I said Tim. Yes, sorry. Wow. Kevin Conroy. Yes, I can't believe I said Tim. Oh my goodness. Yes, James. Thank you for correcting me. I meant Kevin Conroy. Why did I say Tim? Maybe because we were talking about Robins? Do you read any other comics besides DC and Marvel? Because Spawn's pretty awesome. Well, I don't read comics nowadays. I used to read comics, and it was mainly Marvel and DC. I have freaking what's that comic called? The yellow one. The Watchmen. I have that. I own it. It's sitting on the shelf, but I never picked it up and read it. Have you ever played Dragon Age Origins? No, I've seen Let's Plays of it. I have played a Dragon Age, but not Origins. And I only played it for like an hour or two. My friends wanted my opinion on it, and I was like, I mean, I like the open world, but it's a little bit too open world. What is the most annoying meme ever? I mean, Nyan Cat was pretty annoying. I loved it, but Nyan Cat was pretty annoying. Do you mean current meme? Because I think that was... Are like the TikTok fonts considered memes? Just like people on TikTok and they don't actually speak, but they have text in front of them. Because those videos annoy me so much. Well, it's usually because the ones I see are people saying something really idiotic. I haven't played Infamous Second Son. I have it, but I never got around to playing it. Prototype versus Infamous, who do you think will win? I don't know enough about Prototype, but it looks like Prototype would win. It just looks like Prototype has a bigger healing factor. Also, Cole is pretty nerfed when you take away surrounding electricity. Like, fight Cole in the woods. And make sure it's not a stormy day. If it's a stormy day, he can draw power from the sky. Oh my goodness, this track. I would have to hear Greg Griffin's voice. Tara Strong's voice isn't really sexy. Tara Strong's voice is sweet. I mean, that's what she's known for doing. I'm sure she can make it sexy if she wanted. Like Kevin Conroy's voice was sexy. I guess Raven is sexier than what Terra normally does, but I still wouldn't put it in that category. Raven's voice is kind of dull. Like, if she did Raven's voice in a sexy way, yeah, but she never does Raven's voice in a sexy way. What do you think of Alice Madness Returns? Never heard of it. You don't like X-Men, but do you like the... Well, I don't like X-Men comics. I like the X-Men fine. Old school X-Men comics are wordy. Who was it? The Astonishing X-Men was a pretty good series, though. Ended with a really nice tribute to Kitty Pryde. X-Men cartoons. I never watched the 90s one. I know it's like one of the legendary ones that everybody loves. I just never watched it that much. I didn't care for the 2000s one. What's it called? X-Men. I forget what that one's called. But Wolverine and the X-Men I really liked. Evolution, yeah, that's what it was. X-Men Evolution. I watched it, but it was kind of hard to get into. The teenagers in X-Men Evolution were angsty. Air vent. What air vent? What air vent? This? Is this what I'm talking about? Oh, that's a platform screen. I don't know what air vent is talking about. You know who had a great voice? Dexter's mom. I generally can't remember the character's name. Well, her name was Dexter's mom. And his dad's name was Dexter's dad. You just passed it. Well, I'm sure I did. Where, though? I don't see an air vent. Is this an air vent? Oh, okay. These are air vents. So there must be one that I didn't get. So I thought they were part of the pillars. This one. Yeah, there we go. All right. And now just this. Is this a puzzle cleaning game? No, it's just a cleaning game. There you go. Look how pretty that is. Okay, replay, go! Ah, so satisfying. Oh, it caught me in air! I was hoping it would do that. Like, I always try to do that, like, try to make it catch me in midair. I didn't think it was gonna actually work that time. Okay. Alright. With that, we will call it a stream. Oh, man. Thank you all so much for coming down here and hanging out with me. And I will see if I can get some videos done for you guys. Just need this sickness to go away. I keep thinking I'm hearing somebody breathing. Like, did I accidentally stay logged into Discord or something? No. Okay. All right, you guys. I will see you in whatever comes next. And take care. Have a good Christmas holiday season. This has been Shady Doorags. So long. Farewell. Have you saying. Goodbye.